talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Commercial vehicles that go the distance for your business. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at 2 minutes past 10, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. Some breaking news this morning you may have heard on the show. It's reported Joseph Parker failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. According to The Sun, Parker was tested by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency on October 25th. Cocaine is not performance enhancing, but Parker could get a 2-year ban from the sport. Thomas Tuchel says England's big players have no option other than to buy into his team ethos. Bellingham, Foden, Eze and Henderson all came off the bench in the 2-0 win over Serbia after Bukayo Saka opened the scoring.
Yeah, I think the subs that came on today did really well. Obviously, Ebbs got the goal, Phil set it up, Jude and Hendo ran the midfield really well, so they definitely gave us that extra energy and helped us get the second goal, so we're happy with them.
Meanwhile, talkSPORT's Stuart Pearce thinks Bellingham will start in Albania. That game is live on talkSPORT this Sunday afternoon. Meanwhile, Republic of Ireland manager Heimir Hallgrímsson's called Ronaldo's red card in Dublin a moment of silliness.
Maybe it's the fans. They make an amazing atmosphere, probably get into the opponents. There's not many places with an atmosphere like here, so maybe it shocks them. Long may that continue.
Ireland kept their World Cup dream alive with a 2-0 win over Portugal. Ronaldo was sent off for an elbow on Dara O'Shea and could miss Portugal's first World Cup group game if they get there. Now, Martin O'Neill insists he has no idea whether he'll still be in charge at Celtic when they play St Mirren a week tomorrow. O'Neill's been in caretaker charge for the last 4 games since Brendan Rodgers resigned. And the under-pressure Ollie Pope strengthened his grip on England's number 3 spot ahead of the Ashes. He's hit a century in England's only warm-up game against the Lions. There's more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube.
talkSPORT News.
The Chancellor scraps her budget plan to increase income tax, and NHS bosses are trying to keep most services running as resident doctors in England start a 5-day strike. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Rain or shine, our mobile tyre fitting service comes to you, so you can stay on the sofa this winter. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
Storm Claudia is bringing heavy rain for much of the day across England and Wales. Strong winds in the west. Northern Ireland and Scotland brighter and colder with sunny spells and showers.
Welcome to North London. Eubank Jr. versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene, absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
Hello, very good morning to you. It's Sam Matterface and former Watford captain Troy Deeney. We're live on talkSPORT right the way through until 1 o'clock this afternoon. England picked up their 7th successive World Cup qualifying win, beating Serbia at Wembley. Was it those left out rather than those who started who made the biggest impression? Meanwhile, Rob Edwards has spoken for the first time since being appointed as the new Wolverhampton Wanderers boss this week. Will he be taken at face value, or is it all a host of empty words? Be interesting to get Middlesbrough fans' views on that this morning as well. Also today, how quickly can your rivals turn into your best friends in football? We're talking Bamford and Wilder a little bit later on. Is the Premier League more than just a 2-horse race this season? Could Chelsea possibly sneak into the title picture? And what's happened with Harvey Elliott? Has he disappeared? Is there something going on here? Is it something out of nothing, or is there a little bit more of a concern about what is happening to the England under-21 star? You're listening to Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney, and we're live on talkSPORT. Very good morning to you. I do feel as if I've misled you just a little bit because it feels a little bit lonely in here this morning. Those watching on YouTube, Facebook, or on our connected TV app on Chromecast, Android or Google TV, or even Prime Video, wherever you watch your shows, you can watch us on your television. Might be able to see the fact that I'm sitting on my own inside the studio today. No Crookie, he's bothered to go racing and not turn up for the programme. And Troy's gone missing in action. So it is literally just me in the studio this morning. But it doesn't matter because I'm more interested in what you've got to say about last night's performance with England. So 03717 2233 You can text me as well, 81089, if you want to get on the programme and just give us your views on what happened with England last night. We'd love to hear from you. You can WhatsApp us as well on 03717 2233 England continuing their flawless record in World Cup qualifying with a 7th successive victory, Serbia beaten at Wembley. It was a more tactically complex game. Took a little bit of time for England to work out the situation, how to handle Serbia and what they were doing. The extra player in midfield, I think, disrupted England a little bit. Rashford tried a few things. He looked as if he was working hard to try and nail down that left-hand side in the absence of Anthony Gordon. Rodgers started well, I thought, very creative. Kane dropping a little bit deeper to find the space, and Rodgers would go beyond him. I thought that was pretty impressive. But it was the impact of the subs for me that changed the game and certainly inspired the England supporters because it was a really strong finish to the game. So was it the finishers rather than the starters that made the biggest impact? And did Thomas Tuchel's handling of Jude Bellingham get a big tick last night because of the way that he performed once he came off the bench? I wonder what you think about that. Maybe he was right to leave him out, then bring him back in. 03717 223344. Certainly, he looked as if he was in the right frame of mind yesterday when he came off the bench. Stuart Pearce was our summariser last night for talkSPORT at Wembley, and he joins me now. Hi, Stu.
Morning, Sam. If you're ever lonely, my friend, you can always ring me. Don't worry.
That's exactly what I do, mate, as you well know. Look, listen, it was quite interesting, I thought, last night, the fact that England were in a situation where everyone was talking about who was going to start the game. It was a strong team. He didn't change too much, despite the fact there was not a dead rubber, but games that didn't really mean too much. And then he brought on the substitutes. There was big changes in the second half. Does his handling of Jude Bellingham in particular sort of tell you that this is a top elite manager? Because when Bellingham came off the bench, when Foden came off the bench, when Eze came off the bench last night, boy, did they make an impact.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, firstly, the bench impact, the four that come on, I thought were really good. The game stretched a little bit at that stage, and it allowed them to it allowed us to get an extra body in the box from the sort of 65th minute onwards. It seemed when the ball come in the box, there was always an extra body, an England body in the box, which made things a little bit easier. But you've got to say that Bellingham, Foden, and especially Eze had a real impact when they come on. What the manager done, I thought, Sam, was keep a real consistency at the start of the game. I was really pleased with his team selection. You know what it's like when you're in management. You're trying to keep those plates spinning and keep everyone happy. I think he done exactly that by not bringing Bellingham straight back into the fold. It sent a message out to the squad and Morgan Rodgers, look, if you do well enough, you'll be starting again. And that's exactly what it done. I believe that Bellingham will start in Albania. That's my opinion. And I think he'll make maybe 3 or 4 changes for the Albania game. But overall, I thought the Serbs were a lot better than they were in Belgrade. I thought they were awful in Belgrade. They were difficult to break down on occasion. But my goodness, did we score 2 great goals. 2 goals that were probably looked easy to finish, but they were wonderful finishes.
Yeah, absolutely. Foden came off the bench and played as the false 9. He's got great balance, great touch. There were 2 balls that came into the box, though, that I think a conventional striker would have absolutely relished, which was the Bellingham ball, which was bent round the bottom into the 6-yard box, and then the cross from the right that he headed wide. I wonder if that, I mean, listen, he had a good impact. He came off the bench and obviously created the goal for Eze. But I wonder if those moments highlight the fact that England need to have an alternative, a proper striking alternative to Harry Kane, which they haven't got right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe, a little bit of me can't believe that in November, 7 months away from a World Cup, we're talking about not who could be understudy as a centre forward for Harry Kane, but you know, Phil Foden's come in the conversation as a sort of dropped off 9.5. I don't see it, Sam. I think you've got to be able to hold the ball up if you're playing with your back to play as a centre forward on occasion and get on the end of things with your head. And I'm not sure that's, no offence to Phil, but it's not his forte, to be honest with you. I would rather, if Kane's not playing, I'd rather see Bellingham play further up the pitch and Foden in behind him, personally, because I think he's got more physical presence to do so. But it'll be interesting. I think the message sent out there is, I'm not sure that Thomas Tuchel thinks that there is a natural replacement as a so-called 9-for-9 centre-forward.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because late last night, after everybody had turned in for the evening, I think, Thomas Tuchel was doing his press conference in the bowels of the Wembley Stadium, and right at the very end, he sort of suggested that Watkins, Danny Welbeck, players that he had up his sleeve. And he also said, I've got something else that I think could be an alternative, but I don't really want to tell you right now. I don't want to give it away. What could that be? And must they have a conventional alternative? I mean, he did mention Danny Welbeck and Watkins by name.
Yeah, well, I think in the squad that he had yesterday, you would think that Rashford or Bowen can play down the middle. They're more of a natural fit in my eyes than playing Foden there. Make no mistake, him and the coaching staff would have talked about all conundrums. My biggest concern is probably losing Rice for any reason and losing Kane for any reason. They are real problems for England. And if that happens, they've got to be talking about what is the scenario and the best scenario for us going to a major World Cup next summer. So I've no idea what he's got up his sleeve. If it's anything beyond something very creative on and beyond a midfield plan dropped off deep, I'm not sure what that would be.
It'd be interesting, because you would have thought at this stage, with 7 months out before the World Cup, if you're going to bring in a Danny Welbeck, which he suggested he still might do, he said he sort of knows Danny well enough, played Danny so many times, he could, just slip into the system and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. But you thought he would have wanted to have a look at him in and around the group if he was thinking about calling him up for the World Cup. I wonder where you think all the strikers have gone. 03717 2233 44. If you want to get in touch, do you think they should have got Danny Welbeck involved this time around? Watkins has got a bit of discomfort and he wants him to get fit, which is why he didn't include him. Should they widen the net? Should they be looking further afield and trying to pull in people through performing in other leagues that necessarily aren't on the England radar at the moment? 03717 2233 44. Have to ask you, as a former England left back, about the guy who made his debut last night, still a teenager, in Nico O'Reilly. Fantastic performance by him. I thought he settled in seamlessly.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've not seen him do a great deal wrong for his club since he's broke into Manchester City's team. In fact, he's given them a lift with his energy on occasion when they've really needed it. And to be honest with you, I don't think he done a great deal wrong yesterday. He must be very pleased with that first performance, playing for his country. He's got big stature. And listen, a few months ago, we thought Lewis Skelly was nailed on to be the next left back for England for the next 10 years, but it changes very quickly in the game. The one thing which is quite incredible, Sam, that we spoke of last night was England have had 10 clean sheets in a row, in qualification games. And we're still nervous about, are we good enough defensively to go and have a tilt at the World Cup, And the fullback situations have changed a great deal over time as well. So it's getting that balance, really. Shaw's been a consistent left back over many years, and so has Walker. Those two are no longer in and around the situation. So it's important that over the next 7 months he gets it right in his mind who he's going to play at fullback.
Amazing the fact that Jordan Pickford still hasn't conceded a goal in over a year of competitive football, which is particularly impressive. Although they were tested a little bit more last night, and I think the back four actually adapted quite well. Stones and Konza. I think going forward, both of us believe that Gay and Stones will be the first choice pairing. But there is an audition in the fullback roles, mainly because Reece James, as well as he plays, you have to be a little bit careful about his fitness. And the left back role seems to be a rotating situation. I can see Livramento coming back into the squad, though, in the not too distant future. Listen, Stuart, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming on this morning. Stuart Pearce, who was our summariser last night for our live coverage of the England game. Remember, Stuart will be back with us in Albania on Sunday when we bring you live commentary of Albania against England. It's the last World Cup qualifier. England going for a flawless campaign. They haven't qualified with a 100% record in World Cup qualifying since the 1950s, and they only used to play 3 games then. So it'll be some achievement if they manage to go through the whole qualification campaign with win after win after win. 03717 223344. I want your views on this morning. What did you make of the subs' impact? Rashford had a bit of a go, but actually did Eze outshine him when he came off the bench. How did you feel about Foden playing in the false 9? And was the handling of Jude Bellingham absolutely top drawer by Thomas Tuchel? Because when he came into the team last night, he was mega effective. 03717 223344. Have England missed a trick by not calling up Danny Welbeck because they don't have an alternative to Harry Kane? What do you think about that? Why don't you let me know? We'll hear from Thomas Tuchel in the next few minutes. We want to hear from you as well. You can text me 81089 or you can give us a call 03717 223344. This is talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
This is Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene, absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
Good morning to you. It's Sam Matterface on a Friday morning. It's the Fun Boy 3, but it's actually just me on my own sitting there like a bit of a loser, really. Good news is that you lot are keeping me company and I'm keeping you company, so we're in this together. 03717 2233 is the number to call if you want to get in touch. Loads of people texting in this morning, which is great. Loads of callers as well. We'll get to Noel, to Darren, to Phil, to Ian in just a second. This is Simon who says, I thought Foden did well. Jude, Saka and Eze connecting well with him. I thought Kane dropping deep stopped Rice and Rodgers going forward a little bit. Jill says, Eze over Rashford. Foden, no false nine, although brilliant pass for the second goal. Wasn't it just, by the way? What a fantastic pick out that was. It was because he was just able to just run onto it and curl it into the far corner. Terrific. Even UEFA sent a video out of it last night saying that this could be the goal of this match day. Jude, yes, perfect way to handle him, says Jill. Rashford had no end product. He either got tackled or the ball ran out. Both shots were tepid and straight at the goalkeeper. They were, actually. I think Bellingham would be better as a number 9 or a false 9 than Foden. What's your view on that? Do you know what? He's got such great physicality and such presence, and he's so good in the air that I think you might be right as a direct alternative. Foden obviously slightly different because he can drop a little bit deeper, pick up the pockets of space, and I think Tuchel quite likes that, especially when they're trying to open up a bit of a low block. It's something that he discussed last night. But with the idea of Jude's sort of ability and sort of instinct for sensing a goal-scoring opportunity, I think he can do that role, definitely. And certainly he scored a lot of goals for Real Madrid, especially in his first season when he was kind of playing that role as well. Just recently got their winner in the Clasico. Let's speak to Phil, who's a Chelsea fan. Hello.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks, Phil. How are you? What do you want to say about England last night?
Well, to be honest, I work nights, so I've heard about the match rather than saw it.
Okay.
So I have a limited opinion on what the match was or wasn't. I'll watch it highlights later when I finish work. I was only thinking, if you want a direct replacement, surely Liam Delap is although untested and raw, would be the most Kane-like replacement, surely.
Listen, I think you're right in terms of profile of player. I think he is the kind of sort of striker who could step in and be the direct number 9. I think if you're Thomas Tuchel, though, you've been probably a little bit disappointed that he hasn't been available. The other situation is that when he has played for Chelsea,
his discipline record, it needs looking at.
That is a little bit of a concern. He's a little bit of not a liability, but he came on the other night in the Champions League, got sent off within a few minutes, didn't he? Which is you can't afford to do that if you're playing for England in a major tournament. And they haven't had a chance to look at him yet. I think the other thing is he's got such a tight group, right? And he's very much about this brotherhood and building this sort of unity and consistency of selection. I think now you're sort of are you ready to take a risk on bringing someone new into that group? Is that likely?
I totally understand that. My concern is if Harry, like in the Euros, Harry Kane gets injured, you have to change the way you play completely, and I think that could cost England. So, as even an unused substitute, but as in just in case, he's not a bad option.
Well, you've got 26 players that you can take, and actually, I was a bit surprised that this time around that they decided only to take 25, and then with the injuries, realistically yesterday they only really had 24 to choose from because Gay wasn't available either. So there was an option to take an extra one in the squad, but maybe that just means that he already knows that Watkins is going to be that alternative. I think you're right about having something different, but actually sometimes when you're trying to change a game or you're trying to break down a low block, it's good to have something completely different to Harry Kane available to you. And maybe Phil Foden is that. Phil, thank you very much. Appreciate that. I wonder what other people think about the possibility of Liam Delap getting a call-up. I actually raised that last night when I was talking to some of the boys, and actually, they were a little bit sceptical about him making the step up. He hasn't really yet shown what sort of player he's going to be for Chelsea. 03717 223344. Darren is a Manchester United fan. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, great, mate. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, thank you.
Go on, what do you want to say about England last night? Were you impressed with the performance? Were you a bit underwhelmed? Did you want to see more?
I would like to see more. Now, going on to about the England striker situation, I'm thinking about Ivan Toney.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, just because he plays in Saudi Arabia doesn't mean he shouldn't get a look in. I mean, I think last night Portugal had 3 players in their squad who play in Saudi Arabia. So why not play Toney?
Do you know what?
He's played for England before.
Yeah, he's played for England before. Do you know what, though? Do you think that Thomas Tuchel and he have hit it off? Because he called him up for the summer camp, didn't he? And do you remember that situation at Nottingham Forest where he left him standing on the sidelines till really, really late in the game and only brought him on with seconds remaining in the match? I'm just not entirely sure that he was comfortable with the way that Tony integrated with the group, or he wasn't comfortable with the way that... I don't know. There was something not right there. It just felt like there was something not right there. I can't see it.
I don't know. I mean, you can't have that tension between a manager and a player because it just won't work.
I mean, he's been pretty good at sort of confronting big characters and confronting big issues and trying to solve them, right? He's been pretty good at doing that so far. So the fact that he's decided not to deal with the Tony situation, just park it, I mean, sort of shows you that maybe he's not considering him for the World Cup. But is that a mistake?
I don't know. I mean, going back to this manager situation, I mean, a player isn't bigger than inside. I mean, I can remember years ago, being a United fan, when I think Jaap Stam made a comment about Ferguson in his book, and then he was sold.
Yeah, the next day. It was off, wasn't he? Straight away. Jaap Stam was straight out the door. And actually, Fergie says he regrets that a little bit. Darren, thank you very much. Appreciate that. 03717 2233 44. Not sure why we're so fixated on having a striker, says Ben in Essex. False nine works very well for Spain for nearly 10 years. Absolutely, that is true. Noel is a Notts County fan. Hi, Noel.
How you doing, Sam? How you doing?
Good, mate. You? Happy Friday to you.
Rainy Nottingham.
It's raining everywhere, buddy. I listen. I
it is, yeah. But I mean, good
yesterday.
form. I was switching. I was switching between the two games last night. Obviously, I'm originally Irish, but
okay. Well, congratulations. That was a good performance last night, wasn't it?
Unbelievable. And I know we're talking about England, and I'm coming from a neutral perspective. Although I like to analyse things, but I like England, and I believe Tuchel is actually going to win the World Cup for you. And I believe he will, but there's too much psychoanalyzing going on. Like when someone is dropped, everyone's talking about it. And it almost becomes, people get all over emotional. Like Phil Foden, one lad, you were talking about Phil Foden and Bellingham there a few minutes ago. Both of them bring different styles to the game. One is more powerful, the other is more skillful. You know? Basically, Chelsea and Manchester City, you need to be thankful to their academies because they've produced nearly half your team now, with Nico O'Reilly coming as well, and there'll be a couple of more for Man City and Chelsea. But the Bellingham situation, of course Bellingham's going to play in the World Cup. But the striker situation, I'm going to be honest with you, I believe Harry Kane has lost a couple of yards. And I would have Cole Palmer in there in the morning. I'd love Liam Delap to play with the country his father did. But that's not going to happen. But
I don't think it is, sadly, unfortunately for you, Noel. Thank you very much, though, for giving us your call. 03717 223344. Kev the Goon has got in touch. He says, we've got so much talent in the England squad, apart from at centre forward. We've got Kane, but nobody else is anywhere near his level. Not even a young, exciting talent coming through. Possibly. Kane gets injured, we're done. And what does Henderson bring to the team, he says? I think Jordan Henderson brings a lot of different things to the team. I actually think that he adds, obviously, the older head and the experience, which was lacking when we went to the European Championships in 2024. I think he's a good conduit between the manager and some of the players as well. But also, his passing range is pretty good. Look at his performances for Brentford so far this season. Been pretty influential in that team. 03717 223344. You can text me 81089. We're also going to talk a little bit of boxing in the next few minutes as well. Big Fight tomorrow is live on talkSPORT.
Joseph Parker failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. The Sun reports Parker was tested by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency on October 25th. Cocaine is not performance enhancing, but Parker could get a 2-year ban from the sport. Elsewhere today, Thomas Tuchel says England's big players have no option other than to buy into his team ethos. Bellingham, Foden, Eze and Henderson all came off the bench in the 2-0 win over Serbia after Bukayo Saka opened the scoring.
The subs that came on today did really well. Obviously, Ebbs got the goal, Phil set it up. Jude and Hendo ran the midfield really well, so they definitely gave us that extra energy and helped us get the second goal, so we're happy with them.
Albania versus England is live on talkSPORT this Sunday afternoon. Now, maybe the dentist from Iceland got through to the referee when he said make sure you stand up to CR7. Republic of Ireland manager Heimir Hallgrímsson has called Ronaldo's red card a moment of silliness.
In Portugal, he was not only controlling the referee, he was controlling the whole stadium. So all the fans supported his actions and the referee just kind of played along.
And FIFA have hiked up the price of dozens of World Cup tickets for the second phase of sales. The cost has already been described by fan groups as unacceptable. Now, under FIFA's dynamic pricing model, group games in Canada and Mexico have reportedly gone up another 25%.
Hey, good morning to you. It's Sam Matterface here, live on talkSPORT. I've got Adam Catterall joining me in the studio now. Big night of boxing tomorrow night, live on talkSPORT with Ben and Eubank colliding once again at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But the breaking news this morning, Catman, is all about Joseph Parker, isn't it? He's failed a drugs test. Cocaine was the drug of choice, according to the test results on the day of his Fabio Wardley fight. What have you made of this?
Probably, like every single other boxing fan, incredibly shocking. When any fighter fails a performance-enhancing drug test, it is incredibly shocking and disappointing. And knowing Joseph Parker as we all do here at talkSPORT, with it being him connected to this, it's even more shocking. You just highlighted there. This is the noises that this is a voluntary anti-doping test that was taken on the day of the fight. So on the 25th of November. He's obviously fought Fabio Wardley. We all know the result of that. I'm assuming that this is a post-fight urine test, of which is flagged for metabolites of cocaine. I reached out to Queensberry, who ran that event, and they'll be making a statement a little bit later on today, so they'll be giving you an official line on that. And obviously, with the time difference in New Zealand, I've reached out to Joseph Parker, but I haven't heard anything back as of yet. Hopefully, we'll get something a little bit later on today. And again, I've no doubt that they'll make a statement. But as with all these things, and as Queensberry told me this morning, there is a procedure to follow. Obviously, the first test is the A sample. Joseph Parker has the right to have the B sample open. For people that don't know too much about that, it is basically the same urine, just in two different pots to try and prevent contamination. That is a possibility at this particular stage. But once that B sample is opened, I mean, I can't think of too many that have come back that are contrary to the A sample testing. And then there will be a procedure to follow off the back of that.
I think he's explained that for his whole camp, he and his wife and children were in Ireland and London with him, making an encounter with the party drug seem even more surprising. But like you say, in the vast majority of cases, the A and B samples are usually the same.
Yep.
If he is found guilty of testing positive for cocaine, he's facing possibly a 2-year ban. Now, it is a recreational drug. Is that fair, rather than a performance-enhancing one?
Yes.
Does that make a difference?
Well, depends how people look at it. At the end of the day, it's on the ban list. As far as I'm concerned, it is on the ban list. And if this is proven to have been in his system and there is no contamination, there is a procedure to go through. As per the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control and UK Anti-Doping. I mean, Liam Cameron was on the back end of this. He tested positive for cocaine a few years ago, and he received a 4-year ban. So there's going to be a process of due diligence from UK Anti-Doping, from the British Boxing Board of Control, through VADA, of course, who have taken this particular sample. And if it is accidental in some way, shape or form, there is strict liability that has to be adhered to, and therefore that could get reduced, as you just highlighted, to a 2-year ban.
Well, interestingly, right, because I think you and I both have followed Joseph Parker for a long time, you more closely than me, but he was in such a great place going into that fight with Fabio Wardley. It would seem reckless in the extreme. And obviously he hasn't said that he hasn't admitted any guilt here, and we already know that we're going to get a statement a little bit later on from Queensberry. But it would seem reckless in the extreme to put at risk what was a brilliant run of form and a massive opportunity, because if he had beaten Fabio Wardley, then the world was his oyster going forward.
He's fighting Alexander Usyk.
Exactly.
Reckless is a great word to use, and until I hear from him and obviously the official statements later on, it's very hard to comment on it, because you can only go off a character reference. Spent a lot of time with Joseph, and this just seems so out of character for him. But I've been here on many occasions before with many fighters who I've thought this is bang out of character for them as well. So, like I said, let's wait for the official line a little bit later on, but we know what we are dealing with. We've been here before. There has been precedent set before. Like I said, the Liam Cameron case where he was banned for 4 years under strict liability. There could be a reduction of that to 2 years, but it will be, if this all comes out to be proven as fact, he could be facing a lengthy ban from the sport.
Let's see what happens. We'll get a little bit more information from Queensberry a little bit later on today, and when that drops, we'll bring it to you here on talkSPORT. And talkSPORT bringing you a huge rematch tomorrow night when Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn clash at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's live on talkSPORT. Heavyweight Dave Allen joins our expert team, and you can watch along with us on the night on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. You excited about this rematch?
Do you know something? I wasn't, but now I am. Because I'm in the...
Why weren't you?
Because for me, the ball was tied on this. We had 2.5 years in the build-up to this particular fight where, again, we're talking about performance-enhancing drug tests, aren't we? And we had 2 failures from Conor, and there was a big furore about that. There was a big narrative of the fight being booked in October 2022, it falling off, waiting 2.5 years, this build-up, nastiness between both guys, the nostalgia, the trips down memory lane, taking us back to the 1990s. Then we had the egg slap. We had loads of stuff throughout the course of the week. So it built to this massive crescendo at Tottenham in April. And the fight delivered. It was absolutely fantastic. It was captivating. It was a proper fight.
It was entertaining. It caught your imagination, didn't
100%, it? 100%, mate. 100%. And I thought the fight was relatively easy to score. I thought Chris won 8 rounds. Conor won 4 rounds. But it was evident to me that, okay, Conor's not a 160-pound fighter, but if he goes back down to 147, there's big opportunities there. He might go on to become a world champion. Great stuff. And I just thought the ball was tied on it. Now, I know there's a rematch clause. I'm against rematch clauses, as everybody knows, but I am also for, if the first fight's an absolute banger, why not go and do it again?
Yeah.
For both of these gentlemen, this is the most amount of money that they could possibly earn. Sharing a pot of 18 million quid. Sound, no problem with that. No problem with the promoters. Obviously, they're seeing an opportunity to make some coin as well. I'm sure the fans will be bang into it when it comes to Saturday night. And now that this has started to build throughout the course of the week, and my brain started to go back to the 1990s, seeing Nigel yesterday, I'm like going, yeah, man, sack it. It's going to be wicked again. Isn't it? It's going to be wicked. They can only fight one way, but I mean, Conor, for me, can only fight one way, which lends to a super entertaining fight.
Well, certainly a super entertaining press conference yesterday. You were there, and so were the dads. They took centre stage.
There are those who want to bark or scold him. So I guess I'm here to actually protect him.
How do I feel? Water running down my back. Nothing. It's not even about me. It's about my son and Chris Jr. So I'm not even really paying attention to what he says. It's all gobbledygook to me. It's just going over my head. I'm not even really just taking it all on board. Not at all. If we're here to talk about a fight, that's what I'm here to talk about, my son fighting. Nothing else. Not about, what he's done or what he ain't done. Doesn't bother me.
Do not spread lies about me, my friend.
Yeah, well, you know, if you...
I think you two should just face off, personally.
Yeah, I don't mind having a face off with him all day long, mate. I'll have it all day long with him. But anyway, yeah, but you know...
Do you know what? You won't believe this is a true story, right? Okay. I think it could have been 94 or 95 the last time that those two fought.
93 at Old Trafford.
93 was it?
Yeah.
That makes me even older.
Okay, go on.
Right, okay, because I was at the press conference for the launch of Judgment Day 2, which was the last fight between the two, right? I went to the press conference. It was in the Café Royal in Piccadilly.
You can only be a young man then. How old are you?
I was 15, 14, 15, yeah, 15. 15. I was at a press conference because I was doing work experience at a Today newspaper. And I walked in and I was sitting there. I was so eager. I was taken by another journalist and I was so eagerly awaiting the arrival of these two. Oh, my God. Nigel Benn turns up and he's there for ages beforehand, right? And he's getting really irritated because Chris hasn't turned up yet. In the end, Chris turns up outside in joppers on a Harley Davidson, like that. Everybody goes outside because he's turned up and he's caught in the cameras. At which point, Nigel gets a phone call, stages this like massive dramatic sort of event where he has to get up and leave and run out. And then Chris is left to do the press conference on his own. It was just pure drama and pure theatre. Absolutely. But that, I think, was all part of what draws us into the narrative of this particular fight, because it's that drama, it's that nostalgia, it's those two guys that are driving our interest. Do you think you could have sold this fight if you didn't have the backstory of the dads?
No, not originally. I do think that the first fight has lent to these two gentlemen, the sons, that is, stepping out of the shadows, and they're kind of starting to stand on their own 2 feet a little bit. But absolutely, the backstory of the nostalgia is the thing that this has been built on. I mean, we're talking about two lads that are in completely different weight categories. They shouldn't be fighting each other, let's be honest. But the reason why they originally came together was because of those names. And just listening to you speak about those times in, like, the first fight in 1990 and the second one at Old Trafford at 1993, man. Any boxing fan that was around those times, your brain just goes straight back, because the personalities... It's just oil and water in it. Oh, it's absolutely awesome.
Do you know what? We came into the huddle after the press conference. I can't believe it was 1993, but it was 1993. He came into the huddle of the press conference afterwards, and there was like a group of journalists there, and I just happened to be one of them. And they were asking Chris questions, and I just sat there with my little notepad at the time, just sort of taking notes. And then he said, "And who are you?" And he pointed to me. And the guy who was with me was sort of just like, "Oh no, don't worry about him. He's just a trainee. He's on work experience." YTS, he said. YTS. He said, "From now on, only YTS can ask me questions." So I had to stand in the huddle with all of these experienced journalists and ask questions, because he wouldn't talk to anybody else after that. Like, I was like absolutely quaking in my boots at the time. Didn't know what was going on. That's awesome, though. But it was a great experience, and great to sort of see them close up. And his personality, he's still the same now. I mean, you saw him in the studio with Simon and Jim earlier in the week. He's still an amazing personality.
Well, the kids talk about aura, don't they?
Oh, he has it.
He's got it
in abundance. We've got so much more to talk about here on talkSPORT. Adam Catterall was with me, Sam Matterface, just coming up to 11:15. We're here through till 1 with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's Real Deal at selcobw.com.
Welcome to North London. Eubank Jr. versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene, absolutely delivered. We'll catch you next time.
It's possible. This is talkSPORT. Sam Matterface and Adam Catterall's here. Troy Deeney will be here in just a second. Well, we're here till 1 o'clock with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com. We've had some explosive boxing interviews on this programme over the course of the last couple of days. I thought it was fascinating hearing Chris Eubank Jr. not only recite a poem earlier in the week, but also have a little bit of a Barney whilst forgetting what weight class people were in. But anyway, Eddie Hearn was also on the programme this week, and he thinks that AJ and Fury will fight next year.
AJ doesn't fight Tyson Fury. Turkey Al Sheikh has failed to make the fight.
It will be on him, not you.
It will be on him, and I don't believe he will fail. I believe you will see AJ against Tyson Fury in 2026, and it will be the biggest fight we have ever seen in British boxing. But I can't speak on behalf of Mr. Fury. What he does is up to him. If he wants to stay retired, good luck to him. He deserves all the success.
Now, you believe we will see
I do.
AJ against Tyson Fury? You're saying live in talkSPORT this lunchtime. You believe we will see in 2026 Anthony Joshua fight Tyson Fury where?
Wherever Turkey Al Sheikh wants it to be. And I believe there's a very good chance you could see it in this country.
Equal purse for the two fighters.
We'll never know, Jim. And that's the beauty of what he does.
That was Eddie Hearn on this programme earlier on in the week with Jim and Simon, who are back on Monday. Adam Catterall is here, our top fight man, who's going to be leading our coverage tomorrow night when we bring you Eubank against Ben, the rematch of that fight, which took place a little while ago. And listen, interesting, isn't it, Adam? AJ Fury is all the conversation. Then we wake up this morning and late last night we see stories about the possibility of an even bigger purse for AJ and him taking on Jake Paul. I can imagine you're really looking forward to that prospect.
Oh, yeah.
You lost your words.
I'm just trying to be polite about the scenario because, listen, from an Anthony Joshua point of view, if someone's wafting 70 million quid in your face.
Yeah. Which is basically what they could end up earning. It's obviously a Netflix thing or a streaming giant thing.
Yeah. I don't begrudge any fighter chasing the dough because at the end of the day, yeah, belts and legacy and all those things are one thing. And I think I think AJ's kind of secured that legacy. 2-time unified heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist, 13 world title fights. I think he's secured it. Don't get me wrong, there's the shadow of a Tyson Fury fight, of course, that we all want to see. But if someone's going to waft 70 million quid for a relatively easy night's work, then I can completely understand why he would want to do that. I understand why his promoter wants to be involved in something like that. And I also understand from Jake Paul and Nikisa Badarian on the other side, their point of view of getting involved as well, because it's an amazing story to come from where they've come from to now be fighting the former 2-time unified heavyweight world champion. However, my friend,
go on.
I have reservations over safety.
I was going to ask you about that because you're quite an outspoken guy when it comes to performance-enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
And similarly, this is a mismatch, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's dangerous.
You can't. No, there's not a commission on the planet with 2 brain cells that can make that fight happen as a legitimate boxing contest. As I've just said, people underestimate what boxing is. It's a sweet science. There's a skill set to it. There's an incredible amount of talent that goes in to the very, very highest level of this sport. Just because you can have a scrap on the street doesn't mean that you can box. Anthony Joshua, let me just reiterate once again, 2-time unified heavyweight world champion, Olympic gold medal. There's credence to that. 13 world championship fights at the very highest level. He is still, Sam, in his athletic prime. He's only 36 years of age. There's still much more tread on these tyres. And you're asking him to go and fight a lad, with all due respect, that got beat off Tommy Fury. Now, I've been vocal about the level of Tommy Fury. I think he might struggle to get to British title level. So that's the gap that we are talking about between these two guys. It's dangerous if that's a legitimate fight. There has to be, if it's going to happen.
In football parlance, this is having Manchester City take on a team from the National League.
I would say so, yeah. That happens though in football, doesn't it? We're not punching each other. We're not punching each other in the face, are we? In the world of football. If Anthony Joshua hits him, he could seriously hurt him, and then what happens? The sport of boxing gets dragged through the mud, doesn't it? You know what I mean? And nobody wants to see that.
So what are you saying then? In which case is this?
There has to be a change of rules set.
It's not a proper fight.
No, it can't be, mate. There has to be a change of rules set.
So why are people paying the money to watch it? Why are people interested?
I'm not. And proper boxing fans probably wouldn't be. But what it does do is that it appeals to maybe a different audience, that audience that are into what Jake Paul's doing. Listen, it'd be great for Anthony Joshua's profile in America. I mean, the last time the American fight fans saw him, he was getting beat off Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden. So this is an opportunity maybe to reboot Anthony Joshua's profile over in the States. And I think it just appeals to a completely different audience. People that know boxing, people that know what they're watching, would not be interested in an exhibition at this stage of Anthony Joshua's career.
But we are interested in tomorrow night's big fight, which is going to be live on talkSPORT. Eubank Ben, as far as you're concerned, this is going to be another cracker, and you're looking forward to it. Who else is with you tomorrow night?
Dave Allen's joining us, yes. And mate, honestly, when he finishes boxing, he needs to go into stand-up comedy because he's absolutely hilarious. Plus, he's got some real good takes and insight on the sport itself. Gareth A. Davis, as always, Spencer Oliver and John Rowland will be calling us through the fight. Should be an absolute cracker. But like I said, changes need to be made by Conor Benn in order for him to be victorious tomorrow night. I don't know if he can, from an emotional point of view, do that because we all like the way Conor fights. He's front foot, he's entertaining. He's the one that pushed the fight in April. He's the one that made it super exciting. And I'm anticipating a pretty similar thing come Saturday, mate.
And you're off to the weigh-in now, are you?
Weigh-ins from 4 o'clock, yeah. The guys from Drive are live from the Your Call from 4 o'clock, so I'll be joining them sporadically throughout it, and then, of course, we'll have the weigh-ins. And that'll be a big part of the tale here, because last time, remember, Chris Eubank Jr. missed, so hopefully he's not going to do that this time around.
Great to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Cheers, pal.
Nice to see you. That's Adam Casserell, as part of our team, in fact, leading our team tomorrow night, and his fantastic Fight Night programme every Saturday night is definitely not one to miss, and you can always catch up on the talkSPORT app as well. This is talkSPORT. Sam Matterface Troy Deeney is here. We're through till 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to talk England. We're going to talk title race and lots more besides. Stick with us.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Helping business owners to work better and live better. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines at 3 minutes past 11, I'm Nick Ellaby. Good morning. It's reported Joseph Parker failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. According to The Sun, Parker was tested by the voluntary anti-doping agency on October 25th. Here's talkSPORT's boxing expert Adam Catterall.
The first test is the A sample. Joseph Parker has the right to have the B sample open. For people that don't know too much about that, it is basically the same urine, just in two different pots to try and prevent contamination. That is a possibility at this particular stage.
Cocaine's not performance enhancing, but Parker could get a 2-year ban from the sport if found guilty. Now, Thomas Tuchel's satisfied Phil Foden can play up front for England after impressing in their 2-0 win against Serbia. Foden came off the bench to set up Eza for England's second, but Stuart Pearce is not convinced. These are his biggest concerns ahead of next summer.
Losing Rice for any reason and losing Kane for any reason, they are real problems for England. And if that happens, they've got to be talking about what is the scenario and the best scenario for us.
Pearce thinks Bellingham will start in Albania. That game's live on talkSPORT on Sunday afternoon. Martin O'Neill says he's got no idea if he'll still be in charge of Celtic when they play St Mirren a week tomorrow. He's been in interim charge for 4 games since Brendan Rodgers resigned. And has the under-pressure Ollie Pope finally locked in his place at number 3 in England's Ashes batting lineup? We spoke to Zach Crawley after Pope's century in the warm-up game.
Yeah, he played brilliantly today. And yeah, he looks in great touch. He has done all week, to be honest. And yeah, he looks very focused and in a really good place for his game. So yeah, it looks good.
There's more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube.
talkSPORT News.
The Chancellor's scrapped plans to break a manifesto pledge on income tax, and thousands of resident doctors in England have just started a 5-day walkout. There's more from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. With a huge range of premium brands available, we've got what you need to drive away happy every time. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Storm Claudia is here and she's bringing heavy rain across England and Wales. Strong winds in the west. Northern Ireland and Scotland brighter and colder with sunny spells and showers.
Welcome to North London. Eubank Junior versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene absolutely delivered.
We'll catch you next time.
Good morning to you. It's Sam Matterface Troy Deeney. We're live on talkSPORT through till 1 o'clock, and we're going to talk England and loads of bits and pieces, including the title race as well. We'll take your calls 03717 223344. It is Fun Boy Friday, and there was only one Fun Boy for the first hour, 2 Fun Boys for the second hour. Do you think there's any chance that I can get the full complement of all 3 of you in by the time we get to the next hour of the programme?
No.
What do you reckon?
The fact that he's just sent me a picture of him having a beer, I don't think Mr. Crook will be coming anytime soon.
No,
it's great to be here. Missed you, mate.
Listen,
it's been a while.
Where have you been?
I've been working. I've been trying to keep out of the way. Had a bit of a. By the way, if anyone's watching and I'm sweating, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm still here. Then we'll make a story about this true hero that isn't here today, doing this bit of work. But I've been good. Been out in the States, doing a bit of work. And,
Yes, I noticed that you've been out in the States. You're getting quite popular out there. I saw you go viral at one point.
Oh, what have I done this time?
Well,
you know I don't have socials, so what have I done this time?
Well, we'll tell you a little bit later on because there's a bit of a discussion about it, and the person that you were talking about has said something else, I think. So
so you're trying to get me to react? Okay.
I'm not going to try and get you to react. I'm just going to ask you to.
Yeah.
But we'll do that a little bit later on. Let's react to what happened last night with England first of all, because England beat Serbia by 2-0. What did you think of the game?
It was all right. It was okay. I thought the subs were good. I started to see a bit of a Thomas Tuchel mental game plan started to happen with the players, and I thought the response from both Jude, Foden and Eze was excellent, what you'd want going into the tournament, but I wasn't blown away, and I feel really...
You're not going to be though.
No, that's what I mean. I feel sorry for the lads because there's not much they can really do. If they beat someone 6-0, it's like, oh, it's too easy. And if they struggle through a game, we hammer them. So I just think they're in that awkward position at the moment where they're through, they're solid, they're keeping the momentum going, and we won't really know how good this team is until they get really tested, which is normally late.
He kind of said that, didn't he, yesterday? Yeah. He said that, not everyone's going to be 5-0, 5-0, 3-0, 4-0. Sometimes you're going to have to work a little bit harder, and it was tactically complex. It was a little bit more you had to be a bit more thoughtful to try and open up Serbia, and eventually they did that. You're right about the subs. The subs were excellent. I thought Eze was brilliant on that left-hand side.
And I just like the fact that, for as much as I can't see a world, and maybe you could disagree with me, but I can't see a world we go into a World Cup where Morgan Rogers is starting over Jude Bellingham. I just can't see it. Happy to be proven wrong as always, but I like the fact that he had to come in and earn his shirt. I do like that, but I just can't see how he does it.
Well, that's the manager laying down the gauntlet, isn't it? It's him saying, and he has said this, and this is why we sort of talked about it so much last night. This is now competition time. It's almost like a reality TV contest. You guys are now auditioning for a place in the squad, right?
Yeah.
You're up against each other, and he's been pretty clear. And one of the things I love about him is his communication clarity, is that he says, you're a number 10, you're in direct competition with Morgan Rogers, to Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
He says to Eze, you're in direct competition with Marcus Rashford on the left-hand side. Same to Anthony Gordon. On the right-hand side, you've got Saka and Bowen. Everyone's fighting against the person who's either got the shirt or who wants the shirt in order to stay in or get into the team. And that's going to be the narrative between now when they pick the squad. Does that help?
I think so. It's interesting that you like his clarity. I pick up, and we've done it 3 or 4 times now, I pick up all the little things that he says in there, and I kind of go, well, they don't make sense in all of it, because...
Like what?
For example, he said this time round that people were there on merit, and then certain people weren't picked that I thought could have been there on merit. So there's just certain things he says, I go, okay, it's more to one thing as opposed to a whole collective. But again... He says he doesn't see a world where Foden and Bellingham can play together, but puts them on last night and they play together.
He said he couldn't see Foden,
and
Bellingham and Kane playing
apologies.
together.
Yeah, but it's just, I don't know. We'll see. Everything with Thomas Tuchel will all depend on if he can get us over the line, right? Some people love him, some people dislike him. I'm not sure.
Well, I think 2 things can be true. He can say things like, I want you to be here on merit, and that merit decides whether or not you're selected. But at the same time, you've got to be accepting of the brotherhood that I'm developing. And that can be like the determining factor. Because if he doesn't think that you fit into that group, or he doesn't think that your presence is going to enhance it, then he won't select you. Yeah, that's really important. He seems to think, him and Anthony Barry have got this thing about the idea of this unity, this togetherness, which
it's a long summer, isn't it? It's a long camp to be together in the same hotel, doing the same training, same conversation.
Nearly 8 weeks.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's a lot of time, but I just think, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I could just disagree, but again, it's personal preference, isn't it?
Do you think he's got stardust? Do you think he's got like a special charisma?
No, I think he's got a special ruthlessness, and I quite like it that he's willing to do everything his way. He's going to die on his sword doing it his way, and I quite like and admire that. I think when you look at Adam Wharton coming on after Jordan Henderson, I understood it, but I was also looking at it from a player's point of view. It told me a lot. Remember, we did a couple of international breaks ago, but I basically wrote down a team that I thought was going to be there. There were 2 players missing yesterday from it, one through injury. Both through injury in Livramento and Gehi, who I thought would start. And I just think Wharton's there. He's doing well for Palace, but he's got to know now. If you go to the World Cup, you're really going as a squad player, because Jordan Henderson's got to be that old, reliable head because of the brotherhood stuff that you were talking about.
Well, Anderson's going to be the first name on that team.
Oh, absolutely.
That position, the 6th position he's
now down.
Basically Anderson, and then you got to fight. If you're Henderson, you got to fight for it. If you're Wharton, you got to fight with it. I'm not sure they're going to take all 3.
No, but do you think? Well, that's something that's not really been spoken about. the level that Elliot Anderson has gone to since getting that first call up. He's because normally players would get that call up, come back, have a bit of a dip. He seems to have gone again, and again.
He's
now.
emboldened by it, right?
I don't even know what that means, but I'm agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mate, remember it's me you're talking to.
He feels bigged up by the whole process.
Oh, okay, yeah,
He's
cool.
taken it on and he's grown with it, right? At the beginning of the game yesterday, around about 5 minutes in, he's tight to the touchline. There's 3 or 4 Serbians over there. He gets the ball in a tight area. He manages to twist out of it and find an England shirt. That sort of reliability with the ball is something England are going to need, because one of the biggest criticisms that we've had with England over the course of the tournaments past is that when it's hot, you're chasing around, you're always without the ball, you're always trying to get hold of it, whereas he gives you the option to keep the ball. He's always an option. Everywhere you go, he's there. You can always give it to him. You can lend it, get it back.
Just to that then, because obviously the Club World Cup worked a bit of that in the summer. There was a lot of talk around heat, altitude. Obviously we're moving around a lot. How do you see this current crop? Because obviously you've worked major tournaments before. I've not done it. So how do you see this crop being able to handle that in terms of the travel and all of those different aspects?
The travel and stuff like that, I think, is a little bit overplayed, right? So what's the maximum trip that you're going to have to do? If you have to go from West Coast to East Coast, how long is that? 6-7 hours?
Yeah. It's just go back and forth in terms of time. But I just meant like in terms of...
But they're going to be based in the centre of the... I think they'll be based in the centre of the country, and there'll be 2.5 hours...
So it's looking like Kansas. Because either Kansas or Miami are being earmarked.
I think they'll start in Florida and do their camp, and then they'll go to Kansas, and they'll be from there sort of like, spurring off. Yeah. And it depends where they're drawn. So there'll be short trips and there'll be slightly longer trips. I'm not worried about the travel. The travel, I don't think, will be a problem for them. I think the issue that you've got is the heat. The heat is going to be massive. And speaking to Thomas Tuchel last summer, he was sort of like, well, we've got to get out there and we've got to acclimatise. The scientists say you need 9 days of proper acclimatisation before you start the tournament. And England will get that.
Yeah, easy.
They will easily get that.
So we're allowed to hold him accountable then?
And I think
if after 2 or 3 games he starts saying the heat's an issue.
I think the biggest benefit they've got is that they want to retain the ball more. They have more of the ball now. I think the test will come when they're playing against sides that are better at them at keeping the ball.
Yeah, of course.
That's the biggest test.
And the problem is that isn't really going to come until later in the rounds, is it?
Finals?
You're talking, I probably think off the top of my head, 4, maybe 5 teams that are better than us with the ball at a push. So that's not going to be until the end, really. Yeah. It's tough, isn't it? Because you don't really get those... If you're talking about boxing, obviously you just did a lot of that with Adam. You're not getting those championship rounds until it counts, and you've kind of been thrown in at deep end.
And that's one of the questions actually that was sort of raised yesterday. I think Roy mentioned this on the TV coverage. He was saying, Elliot Anderson's been fantastic for England so far, but who has he played?
Yeah.
England haven't played a top 10 nation since they played Spain in the European Championship final.
Yeah, it's tough.
So how do you know that he's going to be able to handle it when it comes against the very, very best? This is a guy that actually, with all due respect, is playing in a team that are in the relegation zone in the Premier League at the moment. Yes, he's performing in Europe. Yes, he's performing well, but ultimately the proper tests haven't come yet.
No, 100%. And it's just all about, isn't it? How do you take it to that next level? So that'd be interesting. It's going to be an interesting summer, one that I'm looking forward to. I don't want to be getting too excited too soon, but it does feel it's kind of feels like Thomas Tuchel's going to do the right thing and just get us over the line. And that's even me, the most sceptical of people.
You're being optimistic there. Do you know someone sent me a text message about that last night? Just someone random just said to me, do you know what? I've just got this feeling.
Yeah, same. I didn't have I was at, obviously, the Italy final at Wembley. I never had that feeling, even when we were 1-0 up. I didn't feel confident or comfortable. Certainly
didn't have that feeling in Berlin.
Exactly, certainly didn't there. But I just have this feeling now that we've got like this unwavering confidence of who we are, and we're unapologetically who we are as well.
Are you okay with the confidence? Because a lot of people get a bit funny about confidence. And Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank actually was a coach with England, was reflecting on Bellingham recently, and he said the problem is a little bit with the English and the way that they deal with this sort of person. You're allowed to be good, but you're not allowed to have self-belief. Self-belief is sometimes taken as being arrogant. Are we allowed to say, I'm really good, I'm the best since sliced bread? Are we allowed to say that? No, but we have to believe that if we want to be the best. You have to believe it, because if you don't believe it, then you're not going to play like it.
No, but you are also, it's a different day and age. You are also allowed to say you're good, because these lads now, that's all they do. When they lose, they don't tell you how bad they are. They post on socials every time they win, every time they score. They tell you how good they are. I take Jimmy's point. Obviously, he knows it better than me, having worked in there. But I just think with the likes of Bellingham and Cole Palmer and these young guys now, they're just a massive entity to themselves. And their inner and self-belief, yes, can border on arrogance, but it only comes on arrogance and an issue when you lose games. When we win games, you never hear anything negative about it.
You certainly need someone to step up and sometimes pull England out of the fire.
Absolutely.
And we know he's done that before. 03717 22 3344. You can text us, you can WhatsApp us. It's 810 It's Sam Matterface Troy Deeney. We're here till 1.
versus Ben on talkSPORT.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This is insane! Never seen anything like this!
The winner by unanimous decision, Chris Eubank!
This is a moment in time that we will never forget.
And the final scene absolutely delivered.
We'll catch you next time.
This is talkSPORT with Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. Alex Crook's too busy racing, so he's not here today. Rob Edwards, though, has been speaking for the first time since taking charge of Wolverhampton Wanderers. He was appointed this week, and he gave his first interview yesterday to the in-house club TV channel, claiming that this job was always his goal.
It's special anyway, but it's obviously special to me. It's where I've spent most of my career, my professional career, where I played most of my football. This is like the dream. I've always wanted this job, and you don't know if it's ever going to come along ever again. But left a really good football club that gave me an opportunity with really passionate supporters that, you know, where we were doing well. Now I know the situation that we're in right now, but this is, like I said before, this is just something that I've always wanted.
That was Rob Edwards speaking to the Wolves in-house TV channel about taking the job. He's taken over from Vitor Pereira. He signed a 3.5-year contract. I mean, Vitor Pereira's just signed a massive long contract, so let's not get too carried away about what exactly that means. But the suggestion is that this is not just a short-term project. He's not here just to try and save them, because that's going to be a tough task. I was looking at some of the odds earlier, at 5-1 for him to save them. That's going to be very, very difficult.
I think even those odds are being kind. I reckon it's close to 50-1 in my opinion. Yeah, I looking at it, Sam, who do you pin your hopes on? Nobody's playing well. No, not one area of the pitch do you go, I don't know, my goalkeeper's been great or my back line have been great, we're just not scoring. Every single facet of the team is not doing well. So it's a tough one. I'll be totally honest. I like Rob. I've got a lot of time for him. I think it's a crazy decision. I really do. I can't comprehend why Wolves, other than the emotional attachment of, obviously Rob was there before, has a connection with the fans, obviously he's closer to home. I don't understand why Wolves would say this is the person to keep us up or bring us back up.
Not after the good start that he's made with Middlesbrough. The fact because he's taken Luton up.
But he's also taken Luton down, and he's also part of the problem. Luton went down twice. So, do you get what I mean? It counterbalanced itself. So, I just think in that selection process, it'd be interesting. But I think he's a good character. Obviously, I know Harry, who's gone in with him as well.
Harry Watling.
Harry Watling. He's they're good lads, and they will try and get the feel good factor there. I always just worry for those guys when they go in and they play a certain style of football, which is obviously hand on and play and try and be progressive. Can the Wolves players pick themselves up after not learning that through pre-season, and they're already as low as a snake's belly when it comes to confidence? Do you get what I mean? It's a real tough ask for them, but if there is a project and they need to spend some money, forget Rob for a moment. Wolves have continuously, for the last 3-4 years, sold their best players, bought in mediocre players considering what they've got rid of, and then expected to survive each year. And I think they've fallen into that trap a little bit like West Ham, where they think we're just better than the 3 teams that come up. And this year it's caught them out by surprise, because all 3 that have come up have given it a go in their own way.
If he does manage to keep them up from this sort of position, will quite a few people
Manager of the year
be left with egg on their face as well? Because everybody's just written them off, and everyone says this is a bad decision, Rob. Don't do it.
Absolutely.
You should stay where you are.
100%. Manager of the year if he keeps them up. I'll say that now. And I'll do a public apology on it. Absolutely. I think if you looked at it bird's eye view, without knowing obviously the inner workings, because we're not there, everyone would say on the trajectory, Middlesbrough going forward, they're spending. We know how passionate and how solid the owner is there as well. Nothing's really going to change in that regard. You look at Wolves, selling everybody, hardly investing, and it's going down. So you would say that the ships are passing the opposite direction at this moment in time. But if he feels like every coach does, I'm yet to meet a coach, Sam, who's gone to any job and went, do you know what, I don't think I can change this. Everyone does think they can change it. And if he does keep them up, then like I'm saying, hand on heart, he will get manager of the season. Has to.
It's fascinating because if you look at their fixtures between now and the end of the calendar year, their first game for Rob Edwards is a match at home against Crystal Palace. He then goes off to Aston Villa, which traditionally there's a little bit of a needle between those two. Nottingham Forest on the 3rd of December on a midweek Wednesday night. Then they take on Manchester United. Then they play Arsenal. Then they play Brentford. Then they go to Liverpool. Then they go to Manchester United. They play those 2 games in quick succession. They're their fixtures until the end of the year. When you look at that and you look at the ground that they've got to make up, you can't see too many opportunities for putting points on the board, can you?
No, but you get that new manager bounce. So he will be hoping for a good performance against Palace. Obviously, points would be great, but something that they can build on and say to the lads, look, here it is. I don't know, whether they score a couple of goals and lose 3-2, let's say. They can go, okay, we did these things right. We need to work on these things to move forward. The games he has to win between now and the end of December. Brentford, you said. Forest. I think there was one more. Man, the Villa game. If you can win those 3, I think they've got an opportunity. And I remember being in that situation when we was at Watford. We ended up ultimately getting relegated, but we were bottom. I think myself and a few others were out injured, and we all came back around this time. And Nigel Pearson came in, and we beat Wolves, we beat Man United. We put 3 or 4 wins together.
Yeah, I remember it.
And we went from bottom by like 5-6 points to actually being in with a fighting chance. Unfortunately, COVID came and stopped the momentum for us, but we was in that position then. If we felt like
you beat Liverpool.
Yeah, we beat Liverpool. Yeah.
The first team to beat Liverpool, weren't you?
Yeah, we stopped them on that run. Actually, yeah, you were on. Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, it was a good day.
I remember it.
But we put a run together under a new manager that just made it simple for us and just went, right, let's get this. And I just think, for Rob, he's going to have to get the guys, focused.
Is he in a difficult position, though, because people were a little bit sceptical about him because he went into Middlesbrough and he promised this, that and the other, and he said, I want to be here, I want to do this project,
Sam,
blah, blah, blah.
Who doesn't? You'd be disappointed. If let's just say, for argument's sake, your team, Chelsea, somebody come in tomorrow and was like, do you know what, it'd be really great if we just stayed in the Premier League.
They almost changed the manager as often as Watford do. I wouldn't worry about that.
Every person that comes in he sells you the dream, right? Sells you the vision. Every owner sells the manager or the coach we're going to give you a 3-year deal. It's going to be this. We're going to have money to spend. It never really works out that way. So I don't take anything that managers say as as gospel, because it's more what they say after games when you get the reality of it.
Okay. Rob Edwards takes charge of Wolverhampton Wanderers. His first game is against Crystal Palace. Of course, we'll keep you updated right here on talkSPORT. They have lost the last 5 in a row, which is not great, and they have only 2 points so far this season from 11 games played. This is talkSPORT. Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. We're here till 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Joseph Parker failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. The Sun reports Parker was tested by the voluntary anti-doping agency on October 25th. Cocaine is not performance enhancing, but Parker could get a 2-year ban from the sport. Elsewhere today, Thomas Tuchel says England's big players have no option other than to buy into his team ethos. Bellingham, Foden, Eze and Henderson all came off the bench in the 2-0 win over Serbia after Bukayo Saka opened the scoring.
The subs that came on today did really well. Obviously, Ebbs got the goal, Phil set it up, Jude and Hendo ran the midfield really well, so they definitely gave us that extra energy and helped us get the second goal, so we're happy with them.
Albania versus England is live on talkSPORT this Sunday afternoon. Now, maybe the dentist from Iceland got through to the referee when he said make sure you stand up to CR7. Republic of Ireland manager Jaime Hallgrímsson has called Ronaldo's red card a moment of silliness.
In Portugal, he was not only controlling the referee, he was controlling the whole stadium, so all the fans supported his actions and the referee just kind of played along.
And FIFA have hiked up the price of dozens of World Cup tickets for the second phase of sales. The cost has already been described by fan groups as unacceptable. Now, under FIFA's dynamic pricing model, group games in Canada and Mexico have reportedly gone up another 25%.
It's Friday morning, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. If you are out and about today, thank you very much for choosing talkSPORT. If you're out racing, look out for Crookie. He's the one causing all the trouble.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
You're not happy about this, are you?
I am not.
I feel like there's an underlying tension.
There is. Just because it's international break, that gives you the right to go off and do what you want, does it?
It's coming across a little bit passive-aggressive.
Is it? It's not passive. It's really aggressive. Right. Okay. Let's see if Dan Towers has bothered to turn up and catch up on the latest odds with BetMGM.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Get ready for the golden era of sports betting. Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+gambleaware.org.
Let's have a look, see if Dan Towers is here. Hello, Dan, are you there?
Morning, Sam. I'm not
Good.
going to let you down.
Good to see that there's some semblance of professionalism. That's good. How are you? Okay?
I'm not bad. Nice of Troy to turn up, wasn't it?
Yeah, eventually.
How you doing, mate? You okay? I've seen you in a while. I'm glad.
It's been a while.
I'm glad I haven't.
We've had Scott Minto, Martin Keown in the last couple of weeks. Then when I dialed in this morning, Sam was on his own. I thought, oh, no, not again. No Troy.
No. Don't worry. The hero's back. Don't worry.
The hero's back. I spoke to the producers. I went, I felt a little bit sorry for Sam for the first hour. They turned around and went, yeah, he did okay, actually, didn't he?
Ringing endorsement. Which club are you supporting today? Tottenham, Newcastle, Brighton?
International break, isn't it?
So you're a Portugal fan today, or what?
Yeah, disappointed losing to Republic of Ireland last night.
Lots of World Cup qualifying action this weekend that actually means something. Scotland and Wales desperate to try and get over the line.
They are, yeah. Scots head to Greece and just 2 games away from qualifying from their first men's World Cup final in 27 years. I think the last time it was back in 98 when I think they actually opened the tournament versus Brazil. They're the outsiders to win in Greece at just over 2-1, whilst the home side are 59-50. But Scotland did beat Greece 3-1 at home in the reverse fixture. And
it was rubbish, though, wasn't it? And they were lucky.
There was a couple of lucky goals. But, Sam, they did win in the same stadium in the Nations League in Greece, 1-0 in March of this year. So it is on their side, but just avoiding defeat for Steve Clarke's men will mean a winner takes all versus Denmark at Hampden on Tuesday. Then we go to Craig Bellami's Wales, who could still mathematically, I think they can still win the group, but Belgium are going to have a major slip up given they're playing the bottom two in the group. So it's more than likely they're in a shootout between themselves and North Macedonia. Wales have played a game less. They head to Liechtenstein and long odds on to pick up a win and put them in a good position heading into Tuesday night's fixture. I believe they do have the backstop of the Nation League success, so they've got a playoff ready, but obviously seeding will benefit them more if they finish second in the World Cup group, and it'll make it much more difficult for them to qualify for next year's tournament.
Grand Slam of Darts is this weekend. What's happening?
It is, yeah. So quarter-final stages, and despite beating him in the group stage, Ricky Evans is the outsider in match number 1 versus an informed Gerwyn Price. Luke Humphreys plays a revived Michael Smith, who's looking for his first major semi-final in over a year. It's been well documented, the injuries and his form that's been happening over the last couple of years since his World Championship win. As you'd expect, Humphreys, currently the world number 1, is odds on at around the 1-4 mark. Then Danny Noppet, who defeated Michael van Gerwen and has already played in 5 semi-finals this year. He goes in good form and he faces German Lucas van Nig. And arguably the biggest match of the quarters is Luke Littler versus Josh Rock. Played each other twice already this year. Littler wins 2 of those matches, but both of them saw hit 100-plus averages. So Rock's not going to be a rollover, and he's had a good year so far. He's won the World Cup of Darts. He was a semi-finalist at the World Match Play. So he's going to be a little bit of a tough opponent despite being the 6-1 outsider. But like most tournaments at the moment, Luke Littler's the outright favourite at even money to win it. But if he does get just to the final, he will overhaul Luke Humphreys and become world number 1.
England revealed their Ashes blueprint this week, and then Mark Wood ended up going off to the hospital for a scan on a hamstring injury. I mean, it gets underway next week. There's quite a lot of anticipation about it. Who are the favourites here?
Yeah, Aussies are the odds-on favourites. I mean, listening to Darren Gough, I think he was on the breakfast show yesterday, and England have only got 1 warm-up match, and it's against England, which on paper sounds ridiculous. England play England Lions. It's the second of a 3-day match that they're playing. Ben Stokes has got 6 wickets, but reading about them, he was a little bit embarrassed about the wickets that he took. And as you mentioned, Mark Wood has gone off for a precautionary scan on a hamstring injury after only bowling 8 overs. So given his injury record, that's not ideal prep going into the first test next week. Local press have already started a war of words with former fast bowler Rodney Hogg claiming that Root will be an absolute disaster in this series. Root has only a batting average of just over 35 down under, and he's yet to hit a century. So it'd be a little bit of pressure going into next week's test, but he's still the second favourite to be your leading run scorer. England haven't won the Ashes series in Australia since 2011, and the Aussies have held on to the urn since 2018. So it's going to be very, very difficult. England the 9-4 outsiders, with the Aussies at 11-20.
You never know.
Dan, I'm not a massive cricket guy. How's someone pulled their hamstring playing cricket? Every time I've been, they all just stood around.
He's an explosive fast bowler.
What's that? 15-yard run at best.
That's pretty.
What's happening?
New cricket correspondent for talkSPORT.
I'm just wondering what's going on. It's a 15-yard run at best.
The ref who produces this programme says that it happens to the best of us. So that's just telling us.
His hamstrings are made of cheese.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Every time he runs, they break.
Yeah. Now listen, some people have just got a little weakness there, Troy.
You've got a bit of a dodgy habit.
I have,
yeah. That's why you're saying that. I've just remembered, Dan. You not hear about it before he did his half marathon. He got injured every week.
No, that's not true. But Crookie said he wouldn't part with any cash or sponsor me until I completed it because he was worried about one of my hamstrings going.
Alex Crook, who's spending his well-earned money at Cheltenham this afternoon.
Yeah.
Has he asked for a freebie off you?
Well, hopefully he's good.
He messaged me and said, I've got a tip for you on a WhatsApp group. And what's it called? He said, due to all your holidays, there's a horse called Leave of Absence running in the 2:20.
That's interesting. It's ironic, isn't it?
Pot kettle black.
Alex Crook, who is not here today because of a leave of absence. Funny that. That was a look at the latest odds, all thanks to BetMGM. Visit to betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Oh dear. Do you know what annoys me about this? Is the fact that I'm the one who goes around Europe every single week doing the football, and yet I haven't missed a show this season. He's missed 3 already.
I don't know whether that was more of a well done you. Was you patting yourself on the back there?
No.
It felt like you was.
I'm just a little bit frustrated.
I've been all around Europe. Well done, Sam. Well done. We all feel sorry for
you. That was me having a go at Crook, and it ended up backfiring spectacularly. Quickly, let's turn their attention. Distraction technique galore here. In the second week of the autumn internationals. Are you going home again yet? England withstood a testing physical battle from a fired-up Fiji before their bomb squad again came off the bench to secure a 38-18 victory. The action continues this weekend with England on a run of 9 consecutive victories in a stern test of their progress. They take on New Zealand. England have only beaten New Zealand 8 times in their history. They've got a real shot of it happening for a 9th time tomorrow. And our rugby reporter, Alfie Reynolds, has more details.
England's third game of the November internationals will undoubtedly be their toughest. The All Blacks in town, a team they haven't beaten since the 2019 World Cup semi-finals. So what sort of opportunity presents itself this weekend?
It's been a while, probably a bit too long. But, you know, we've had some great games in between. There's been some games where we could have. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So, yeah, we're just going to look to put our best foot forward and see what we can do this weekend.
Well, that's the England captain, Maro Itoje, speaking to me at their training base in Surrey. George Ford will start for England at fly half. And as he's told me, there is a real excitement amongst the squad ahead of this game.
Yeah, it's the games you want to be part of, innit? A full Allianz Stadium. Playing against the All Blacks, hopefully we can give them plenty to cheer and get on the feet about, and it's when they get behind us, when the crowd get behind us and give us that extra lift we need at certain times of games. There's nothing better feeling than to do that at Allianz Stadium as an English player.
Well, if England are to beat New Zealand for only the 9th time in their history this weekend, they will need the impact from their bench. Maro Itoje explained to me that the final 20 minutes in test matches are so crucial.
It's a complete squad effort. After, I've played a little while now, I've been a part of several teams, several England teams, several teams with Saracens, and I've experienced huge success and perhaps some moments where we didn't quite get what we needed to do. And whenever we've had the success, it's been a squad effort.
So it's England against New Zealand this weekend at Twickenham. Will England record a famous victory, or once again will it be the men in the black jerseys that are departing southwest London the victors?
He did very well there, Alfie Reynolds, despite the fact that Troy was heckling him from here, suggesting that his shirt was too big for him. You didn't like his shirt. Why do you not like his shirt?
Looked massive for him.
I was more worried about the massive room he was sitting in.
You decided to elaborate on how big that room was.
It was a big room.
No, Alfie's clearly not been in the gym. I've never met Alfie. Alfie, you're a nice guy by all accounts.
He is a good lad.
He looked like that top needed to get off the hanger.
You're listening to Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. We're here through till 1 o'clock. We're going to talk about Harvey Elliott as well on the programme in the next few minutes. Where's he gone?
be a bloodbath.
It's one of the fights of the year.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
That's why he didn't beat me, and that's why he shall not beat me in November.
Good morning to you. Thanks to our friends at Virgin Atlantic. We're giving you and a mate the chance to win the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Yes, to Las Vegas in Nevada. You'll kick things off in style with exclusive access to the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse in Heathrow. Then for upper class with flat bed. Oh, I like those live flat beds. I've seen those through the curtain once or twice. And a premium service all the way to Vegas. Once you touch down, you'll check into a spa villa for 4 nights. Cheer from the stands. The Las Vegas Raiders take on Kansas City Chiefs, and we're throwing in $5,000 worth of cash to play with while you're there. What? So clear your calendar. January the 2nd to January the 7th. Troy and I will be there as well.
Yeah. Do we come as extras?
We can do. Listen, we'll go. We won't charge any fees for it. We'll just go. This could be the best start to your new year ever. Good luck. This is how to do it.
21 plus. UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
Why have you pumped yourself up?
No, I think we've just, for people that are listening, we've had new chairs. Clearly,
in the break?
I've got yours, clearly.
Because it's so high?
Yeah, I'm massive, yeah. I don't know what's going on. I feel a bit like Fred Flintstone.
It's
adjustable. Just pull it down. No, but why have you got the one that's lower and I'm...
No, I've just got the sensible height one. You've just got the...
Okay.
You've just...
I'll try and figure it out without breaking it. Go on. Oh, moving all sorts there.
Yeah, don't.
We'll leave it.
Just wait till the break. Get somebody else.
Anyone who's watching on YouTube, Sam is not this small in real life, just so you're aware.
But Harvey Elliott must be, because we can't find him anywhere. He's disappeared off the face of the earth. Is this something out of nothing or something more concerning? Does it just take a little bit of time to settle and adapt to a new manager's demands? Or is it stop it, now you're disappearing?
Sorry, we didn't full LEG there.
or is there something more of a worrying trend for the player? Because, listen, obviously he's a very talented player. He's found himself on loan at Aston Villa.
Yeah.
He actually has done well whenever he's played for Liverpool. Yeah. He did excellently for England under 21s in the European Championships. Why can't he get in that Villa team?
Do you know what? It must be that the manager's not having him. That's the only thing I can think of. Because when he first came in, it was obviously getting him up to speed, and he was doing all right as well. Scored in a game or two. And then he just doesn't seem to be having him, not having his fit. Naturally, he's got Yuri Tillemans, Kamara, who I think are his best two. Onana's been fantastic as well. But I just thought Harvey Elliott would add you that little bit of something different off of the wings, maybe coming in. You know how we did earlier on in the season? We had John McGinn on one side, coming in as effectively another 10. But it just seems to me that he's just not having him one bit. I don't know whether it's he didn't want him in the first place, and they just... Because they kind of filled their roster towards the end. Aston Villa, they had Jadon Sancho, Victor Lindelof and Harvey Elliott all come in right at the end.
I forgot that Victor was there.
That's what I mean. So, and he hasn't played as well.
But it feels a little bit like that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at the squad itself, I mean, look, his game time over the last 6 weeks has been restricted to just 4 minutes off the bench against Feyenoord away in the Europa League back in October the 2nd. He didn't feature in either of their next 2 European games with Go Ahead Eagles and Maccabi Tel Aviv. Didn't make the matchday squad for the Premier League wins over Manchester City last month and Bournemouth the past weekend. But this is a guy who obviously has got talent. But if you look at it from a Emery perspective, he's now using a player that he didn't want last year, who he sent out on loan, Emi Buendia, in place of someone like Harvey Elliott, who's just come to the club. And I think that's a slightly surprising turn of events. That's no disrespect to Emi Buendia.
No, of course not.
But if you sit there and put yourself in an Aston Villa fan's seat, they sit there and go, well, hold on a second, you didn't want this player last year.
Yeah.
Bought in this one. Why are we not using him?
Yeah. I think as well, put yourself in Harvey Elliott's position. He's probably looking at Liverpool now going, I probably will be playing. I'll probably be playing at Liverpool without their all going on and the injuries that they've had and stuff. It's a strange one. And I would love someone, from, I don't know, Birmingham Mail or something to actually press him on it, because Emi Buendia has been fantastic. Obviously, he had that injury a few seasons ago and to his knee, and he's now getting back up to speed and he's showing the quality he's had from his days at Norwich. But I just think, yeah, it's a really strange one. And also, they've committed as well, haven't they? It's a loan with an obligation to buy.
Well, this is one of the problems, and a lot of Villa fans are getting in touch right now saying exactly that. This is because there is an obligation to buy if he plays a certain number of games, and they don't want to trigger that.
Well, how many is it?
I think it's 10 games he has to start. I think
10.
Something like that, isn't it?
So,
something like that.
okay.
Yeah, roughly what was reported. It was something like that.
Yeah.
And if he does that, but he hasn't got any options anyway, because he can't go. He can only go back to Liverpool in the January transfer window. He can't go anywhere else because he's already played for 2 clubs already this transfer period. So he can't go to a third. So his only options.
Even if they bought him, he couldn't go to a third.
Well, that's what we were being told earlier on today. I think that's what the ref was saying.
If anyone knows, between you, FA Sam and FA Ref in there, someone's got to know.
Yeah, well, you're only allowed to play for but do you know what? I've said it, and then I thought, hold on a second, because Mark Gay is in a similar sort of situation at Chelsea, isn't it? And I think there was a clarification or a twerk of the rules, because, Gay played in didn't he play in the League Cup or something for Sunderland, and then played in the League Cup for Chelsea, which is very weird.
I don't know, but if anybody else was going to know that rule, it would be you. So what number is it? B24? That's what the rule is?
Yeah, it was what I was reading when you weren't here earlier.
No, I just think when you look at it for Villa, again, Villa have been a really strange team, because they started off the season defensively pretty solid, but was so disjointed. I worked their game at Everton and their game at Brentford, and they were just so disjointed. And then they've kind of settled down and got back into it, but it's just looming.
Almost at the weekend, 4-0 win.
Yeah,
just was excellent.
But again, Villa fans will probably think I'm trying to wind them up. I promise you I'm not. It was a great win, and 4-0 was flattering because Bournemouth had massive chances. And obviously, Emi Martinez was fantastic in goal. So it's just a really strange moment for the team. I don't know what they're going to do
behind the
forward.
scenes, isn't it? Because Monchi's left and they've changed the sporting director. I mean, for Monchi to leave, I thought was a bit strange, because the idea was that he and Emery were so aligned. They worked together before. There was a new era here. They were building for the future, and it almost felt as if it's just sort of stuttered. The progress has stalled.
They've done big contracts to like Morgan Rogers. Kamara signed a big contract as well. So, yeah, I just thought the obligation to buy, what is it, 30, 40 million? It's not a lot of money for Harvey Elliott in today's market.
But they're in a PSR.
Yeah, so I just thought that's probably why they tried to just ring fence that and go, right, 30 to 40 million is not going to kill us either way. That's one decent signing already locked in the bag for next year. So we're not in the same situation there was this year.
Yeah,
it just seems a bit strange.
Strange that they haven't used him. Really is weird. And he is a good player, and he's certainly talent, and England benefited from his presence at the under-21s in the summer, that is for sure. If Villa fans got any views on that, 81089 on the text, you can send us a WhatsApp 03717 2233 44. This is talkSPORT. We're going to talk to Sam Jones in just a second. Boxing tomorrow night is massive, and he's very enthusiastic about that. And Jack Catterall's on the undercard.
talkSPORT Sports Update, powered by the Nissan Van Range. Score a winning hat-trick of performance, payload and price. Search Nissan Vans or head to your local Nissan Van Centre.
With your headlines, it's just coming up to 2 minutes past 12. I'm Nick Ellaby. Good afternoon. Joseph Parker failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. Parker was tested on October 25th. talkSPORT's boxing expert Adam Cattrall's told us Parker's B sample will now be checked in case of contamination.
There is a procedure to go through. As per the rules of the British Boxing Board of Control and UK Anti-Doping, I mean, Liam Cameron was on the back end of this. He tested positive for cocaine a few years ago, and he received a 4-year ban.
There's more on this story at talksport.com. Thomas Tuchel says he had the idea several months ago about Phil Foden playing up front for England. Foden replaced Harry Kane and set up Ezra's second in England's 2-0 win over Serbia. But talkSPORT's Stuart Pearce isn't convinced by Tuchel's idea.
But you would think that Rashford or Bowen can play down the middle. They're more of a natural fit in my eyes than playing Foden there. Make no mistake, him and the coaching staff would have talked about all conundrums.
England's final World Cup qualifier in Albania is live on talkSPORT on Sunday afternoon. Former Chelsea midfielder Oscar is stable in hospital in Brazil after having heart problems during training with Sao Paulo. Oscar's been diagnosed with a fainting condition caused by a sudden drop in blood pressure. And the under-pressure Ollie Pope strengthened his grip on the England number 3 spot ahead of the Ashes. He's hit a century in England's warm-up game against the Lions. Meanwhile, Zach Crawley's responded to critics who say one internal game is not enough preparation for a series in Australia.
As far as I'm concerned, I think it's good prep. We're getting used to the weather, getting used to the flies. And it's good prep, I think, and like I say, I feel like we'll be ready next week.
There's loads more Ashes build-up on talkSPORT's Cricket YouTube.
talkSPORT News.
Less than 2 weeks from the budget, the Prime Minister and Chancellor have ditched plans to hike income tax, and resident doctors in England have hit the picket lines for a new 5-day strike over pay. More from the news team at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Today it's raining tyres in our centres, including top-notch brands like Pirelli. Visit your local centre or quickfit.com and book today.
Storm Claudia is bringing heavy rain across England and Wales. Strong winds in the west. Northern Ireland and Scotland brighter and colder with sunny spells and showers.
This is going to be a bloodbath.
It's one of the fights of the year.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
That's why he didn't beat me, and that's why he shall not beat me in November.
Hello, good afternoon to you. It's Sam Matterface and it's also Troy Deeney. Today we're here through till 1 o'clock. Remember, tomorrow night talkSPORT brings you all the action from the big fight at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Looking forward to the rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. They meet again in a highly anticipated rematch. So let's take a look at the big fight now with DAZN.
Big fight preview. Eubank Jr. versus Benn 2 on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch the unmissable rematch live this Saturday only on DAZN.
I'm neither mind nor thought. I cannot be heard or cast into thought, nor by sight or smell ever caught. In light and wind I am not found, nor yet in earth and sky. Consciousness and joy incarnate, bliss of the blissful am I. The purpose of it is always that we are entertaining the public.
He's here! Both guys here! Going for it! So
I have nothing to say to Nigel. I find the man intolerable in that he's so wild.
All I wanted to do was rip his head off.
After an atmosphere and a contest like this, they surely have to do it again.
What did my son want to do? Rip his head off.
Sympathy, then his toenail, sympathy, the ambulance, sympathy.
One of the toenails on my big toe fell off.
When is he going to understand? Nobody cares.
These rivalries do tend when they share their souls in the ring for our entertainment.
Never seen anything like this!
The souls and the spirits entwined forever.
Yeah, Eubank against Benn live tomorrow night, only on talkSPORT and only on DAZN as well. Let's talk to Sam Jones, who is the manager of Jack Cattrall, was on the undercard of this fight. I mean, what a fantastic weekend we've got. By the way, all the coverage on talkSPORT and the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, where they're doing the watch-along as well. That's over on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel, 7 o'clock live on talkSPORT. You can watch live on DAZN. Sam, very good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for coming on the programme today.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure.
Looking well, geezer.
Yeah, we're pleased to see you, fella. Yesterday brought the fighters' press conferences with the fathers stealing the show. Is it weird that they still need their dads to sell the fight?
I don't think they do need the dads to sell the fight. I think Junior does that all on his own, really, doesn't he? With his narratives and his antics. But look, putting them all together on the stage was actually quite surreal and special, wasn't it? Really, and you see. Senior, I think he should have been there last time, really, the build-up. But I suppose that added to the theatre of him getting out the car at the show. It was like WWE, wasn't it? But look, it all leads to Saturday, and it'll be another great fight, round 13.
How do you see the fight going, Sam? A lot of people suggest it's going to be more of the same. That Conor will just probably have a better fight, better game plan, but will just be too small for Chris. How do you see it?
Well, it's a good job you bring that up about being too small, because a lot of the narrative is that Chris is making all this sacrifice. But remember, Conor Benn is a much smaller man there.
Yeah.
But I see it differently. I think that the miles took off Chris will be a lot more than it took off Conor. Conor's a young man, 28, 29 years old. Chris is, 36 years old. He was in the hospital a long time. After the fight, we took a lot of damage, facial damage. You saw him when he posted the picture. I just think Conor Benn is going to be more calculated this time, and I think he's going to get rid of Chris relatively early.
Nothing wrong with being slightly smaller and a little bit scrappier. We had Simon obviously been talking about this on the show this week. He says it's rewarding mediocrity. Do you understand the critics to this fight and this event, or are people too easily dismissive?
Listen, I work in boxing, so anything that feels... Listen, you have to remember, Chris, okay, he's not won a world title, a legitimate world title, nor has Conor Benn, but they're both, respectively, top 10 in the world. If Conor was he's in 147, Conor's top 10 in the world, top 5. Chris Jr., the same thing in his category. All that's happened is it's kind of a fantasy fight, but they're both top-level fighters. I'm not saying it's an elite-level fight, because it's not, but... It's a world level fight, in my opinion, and we got an amazing fight last time. So I think Simon's Simon, isn't he? It's Simon. That's Simon Jordan. That's his opinion. But the bottom line is, it's filling a stadium in November, freezing cold. But it's not actually freezing cold. The weather's all right to be here, but it's filling a stadium. It's attracting a huge audience and bringing huge eyeballs to the sport. So. For me, that's fantastic. And look, I've got my guy, Jack Catterall, who's going to be the co-main event on Saturday. It's a huge opportunity there. And it's creating opportunities. So I can't complain one bit about the fight. I cannot wait. And anyone that likes boxing or is a fan of the sport will be tuning in on Saturday to watch another barn burner.
And just talking about your man, Catterall, obviously I was there the night he beat Taylor, and it felt like he was going to go on and just really kick on and start taking over. It's been a little bit different, but Echo Esserman is not an easy fight for him. What made you go down that route, Sam?
It's look, you're not going to get on the card having easy fights, if I'm honest with you. But we wouldn't. Jack doesn't want that. He's 32 years old. He's took himself off to America, training with Jaron Ennis's father, Bozy Ennis, in the dungeon they call it in Philadelphia. He's made a lot of sacrifices. I mean, all fighters do, but he left his newborn son and went and did 8 weeks in Philadelphia. Tough, hard training. You don't want to do that and then fight somebody that's below par. It's Echo's a top 5 world contender now. He's coming off a great win against a mutual opponent in Josh Taylor. I think the fight's finally poised. I just think Jack's a better fighter than Echo Esserman. I believe he'll prove it on Saturday.
You talk about the sacrifices. He's gone from Chorley in Manchester. He's gone out to Philadelphia. He's been working, as you say, with the former welterweight world champion Jaron Ennis and his coach and father Derek. It's a gamble, isn't it, to go and change up your routine? What was the thinking behind that?
Of course it is. Listen, Jack's had long-time trainers and friends, Jamie and Nigel Travis, who he's who their families are great friends. But Jack felt that he needed a change of environment. He wanted to put himself in a different space and take himself away and isolate himself. And if boxing's a selfish sport, right? So if you only get one crack, it's not like tennis where if you lose a match, you can go and have another game a week later. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's a very selfish sport. You get one crack at the whip, and I think he's got to be respected.
Yeah, no, 100% on the respect part. I was just going to ask you, at 32, again, I want to sound really respectful. This is going to sound a little bit disrespectful, Sam. I hope you understand what I'm saying. At 32, what more can you learn, if you get what I mean?
Jack's not got many miles on the clock. Yeah. He's not been in any real wars in his career. He's fresh. And it's not just about what you can learn. It's about what you can get out of yourself. Right?
Yeah, just that new environment type stuff.
You were a high performance athlete. Do you know what I mean? That played football deep into your 30s. Yeah. You know, it's about what you can train, what you don't want to train. You know what to do to get the best out of yourself as a high performance athlete. I mean, I wouldn't know about that with my big fat cheeks, but let me tell you, he does. So, and Jack's he's super switched on, and he knows what he's got to do to get the best out of himself, and he's put himself in a position to get it out of him.
And style-wise, is actually Esserman a good fit for Jack? Because Esserman likes to step forward. Does that give them opportunities to pick him off?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, the one thing this fight won't be, right, it's not going to be a boring fight because Echo likes to come forward, Jack likes to box, but you're going to see a few little new little bits from Jack in there on Saturday night. I'm very certain of that.
And I saw, I think you did an interview a few weeks back. Did you say that when Jack landed, he got asked to go to the gym and ended up jumping in the ring with Gerard Ellis on the same night?
So what happened was, right, we landed, and the very next day, it might have been the same day. I don't know, but it was definitely either the day we landed or the day afterwards. Jack went to the gym. We did a session. Well, he did a session. I'm talking about we. I'm talking in the third person. So we went there. Jack done a session. We came home. I made some food. For Jack. A big bowl of like this mince, like this big protein bowl full of food, like a big amount of it as well. And then he got a text from Bosie at about 6 o'clock at night. A few hours later, this is literally about an hour after Jack had just there, saying, "Jack, do you fancy coming to the gym and doing a little bit more?" And I was laughing at Jack sarcastically, saying, "Imagine, because this is Gerard Ellis, like a pound for pound." Unbelievable fighter, one of the best I've ever seen, and he's preparing for a fight, and his fight's in like 2 weeks' time, so he's kind of at the end of his camp, and Jack's at the very beginning. So anybody that knows in boxing is that the person that's closer, he's ready to fight Geron. Do you know what I mean? He's shredded, ready to fight. And I says, Jack, imagine if they tell you to get there, because Jack is southpaw, Lima was a southpaw, and I was kind of thinking in my head, hold on a minute, imagine they just throw you in the ring now with boots to do some rounds, and Jack was just like looking like this, going, getting his wraps ready. And we got there, and I just seen Geron Ellis in the gym warming up and stretching. And I looked at Jack, and imagine I looked like Casper the Friendly Ghost. So I was like, oh. I was like, oh my God, he's gonna get in there and do it. And Bosie goes, yeah, just go in there and you're gonna do some rounds with boots. And I was like, oh, good luck, Jack.
Good job he had that mince. Sam, thank you very much. Just one more thing before we let you go. Go back to the big event tomorrow night. Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. Just give us your quick prediction.
Conor Benn all day. I'm never going to pick against Conor Benn. So, yeah, Conor Benn, early gate, stoppage.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. That was a look ahead to Eubank Jr. against Ben 2 with DAZN. Watch the unmissable rematch live from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this Saturday, live only on DAZN.
Big fight preview. Eubank Jr. versus Ben 2 on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch the unmissable rematch live this Saturday only on DAZN.
I'm going to speak to Georginio Rutter before we leave you at 1 o'clock today. And we've got a little bit of a chat about the possibility of Chelsea winning the title. This is talkSPORT with Sam Matterface. What are you laughing at? This is talkSPORT with Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney and Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
to be a bloodbath.
It's one of the fights of the year.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
That's why he didn't beat me, and that's why he shall not beat me in November.
It's good to have you back today, by the way, because you know we were sitting here last week, don't you?
Salty and Keogh. That must have been a miserable show. I'm going to go back and listen to that. How much complaining was in that show between Keogh and Salty?
There was a little bit, but they were on time, to be fair.
Oh, were they? Yeah, that's why they're here. One show a month. You have to be. Where's Crookie today?
Yeah, racing. Martin Keown tipped Chelsea to be dark horses and potentially challenge Arsenal in the Premier League title race this season. This was him speaking on this show with Jim and Simon on Monday.
You've got to look at Chelsea starting to pick up a little bit, Jim. Chelsea looking like they're starting to become a little bit formidable. Man City going through the gears, Jim. So look, Arsenal just need to keep winning their games. They've not done an awful lot wrong, Jim. They're pretty well top of the they're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League table as well, pretty on points.
There you go.
That was Martin Keown, who was talking about the possibility of Chelsea being involved in the title race. They're third. They're 6 points off the top. Now, listen, our producer, the ref, he's a big Chelsea fan, and he is
the only one.
He was saying to me, you know, they can do it. They can get involved. And I was like, I don't think they can. I don't think that they've got the ability to do that. And he says they can push it. I went to Man City on Sunday.
Yeah.
I thought they were brilliant. I thought they were really good. I went the Wednesday as well, and I thought they were really good there as well. They'll be good challengers. I've seen Arsenal so much this season. I went to Prague with them last week. They are terrific. They're so well organised. Chelsea aren't at that level.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I think my frustration is with Chelsea and this model, this whole new buying kids model, and then complaining that we don't have the experience because we've got kids. It's kind of like an oxymoron, isn't it? It's a little bit of the same.
Yeah, but they're not complaining about it. We are complaining about it. Supporters and observers are complaining about it. I'm complaining about it.
After the draw to Karabag, which felt like a loss, he was talking about the experience.
Yeah, but he wanted it as well, and they said no. So he wanted to bring in an experienced centre-back in the summer because they got the injury to Colwell.
Yeah.
And they said no, find the solution from within the organisation.
Yeah, I look at Chelsea and I just don't know. I don't know when it's going to click, if you get what I mean. I think they're going to buy young again next year. They're going to be in the same position that they're in next year. I think Chelsea are going to be...
So what's the end game then?
I don't know. Just become a higher version of Brighton that has really young, talented players that you end up selling on to Real Madrid and Barcelona.
But Brighton have a lot of experience in their ranks that see those younger players
I don't disagree.
Through games and help develop those players. Chelsea don't have any of that.
But also, when you look at Chelsea and they got the young kid Esteval, who is going to be an absolute monster. I remember we had when we was out for the Club World Cup, me and Ade did a show with Kleberson. And Kleberson said to us at that time, this is the next Neymar. And it was a massive statement, but it wasn't one of like him trying to just big up a South American. He was like, I'm telling you, he's the next Neymar. So since then, I've obviously kept an eye on him, and he's been fantastic. But he's the only real top quality winger you've got at the moment of the 4 or 5 that you've got.
Okay, well, I was looking at the statistics and the data, and if you look at the...
That's unlike you.
No. I will get a life one day. Per 90, I mean, the top performer obviously is Erling Haaland, right?
Yep.
In terms of statistics, XG and XG assists. Then it comes in the top 5, Esteval, Garnacho, and Enzo Fernandez, who has been a very high contributor.
Garnacho would be because his minutes have been limited as well, right?
It is, and obviously came up with 2 assists at the weekend.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's being against Wolves.
Of course. Listen,
but they have firepower. Or do they?
Do they? My frustration is that the fact that they can turn up in these big games. So obviously worked the Club World Cup, PSG was the best game I've seen of an English side in the past 10 years. They were so good.
They were
every single player was an 8 and 8.5 and above. They were fantastic against a wonderful PSG team. And then you look through the course of this season, again, worked the Brighton game. They were winning but were poor. And again, sendings off. No, it was all of their own doing. Man United was all of their own doing.
Yeah.
But then they'll beat Liverpool. And then when they play Arsenal...
It's a showcase of raw talent, but then the lack of consistency comes from the fact that they are such a youthful group.
Yeah, but I think it's more mentality that you can get up for these bigger games. And I did some work over in the States recently and got a little bit of stick for it. And I asked Jamie Carragher, like Conor Bradley, for example, has been inconsistent, I would say, this year. And that's not all his own fault, because Liverpool have been as well. Comes up against Vinicius Junior, and he's excellent. Best player on the pitch. The following week against Doku, who's in a great moment, obviously, looks like he's never played football before. So is it a mentality thing now with these younger players that They need that fear factor of a big name and someone that's considered a world star to get up for it. And just taking it back to Chelsea, you can look through their biggest teams, biggest moments, they all turn up. When they beat Liverpool, hardly anyone was fit and available. Everyone, general consensus, said Liverpool were going to win. And they come up and they do a wonderful performance. So for me, it's more of this, like, do they need that little bit of fear in them to perform?
Maybe. I also think that they lack a little bit of quality at the bottom end of the pitch. I mean, the top end of the pitch, obviously, they want to have a striker. But I just don't think that they've got enough in that area.
Let's fit to the goalie.
They're getting well protected by Moises Caicedo, who's a terrific midfield player, probably one of the best in the league, especially in his position.
Yep.
The goalkeeper, I think, is capable of making unbelievable saves, but also capable of making a mistake and being a little bit rash. And I think that's pretty well known. Yeah, so that's not a surprise. So I think those sort of departments of the team still need a little bit of work. And I do think, without that top level number 9, that is going to be an issue. Look, Liam Delap may end up being that player. But I think they just need someone.
He's struggling at the moment,
experienced.
though, isn't he? Whether it be for injury, whether it be through getting sent off. But I also think it's the first time he's having to deal with a low block. When he was at Ipswich, everyone was coming onto him, so it gave him that pace and power that he's got to run in behind. I think now he's having to be a little bit cuter in these areas, and there's a lot of development there. And I find it interesting, but João Pedro is being flogged like a dead horse at this moment in time for no other reason than everybody else is, not fit and available. So, it's an interesting Chelsea team. You know what it's about as well, Sam? Feeling. Chelsea don't give you the feeling that they're ready to win.
They're not ready to win the Premier League. They may win a cup competition this year because they can put a string of good performances together in a row.
Yeah.
There's always a little blip that comes into them because they just haven't got the consistency. And I think that is going to be...
They got Arsenal not this week.
Well, interestingly, because, obviously the big talk is about Arsenal now and Manchester City and it being a two-horse race. But Arsenal's return to domestic action is quite tough. The landing is bumpy because after the internationals, they have the North London derby. Brooke and I will be at that. He won't be racing that day. Then Bayern and Chelsea in the same 7 days. Now, that is some stretch.
Yeah, I think they'll blow out Spurs, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's a derby, so you can expect Spurs to do a little bit different, but I think that well-oiled machine of Arsenal just blow out Spurs, unfortunately. Bayern game's going to be fascinating because Bayern have been fantastic.
Why unfortunately?
Why unfortunately
would they blow out Spurs? Why is it unfortunate?
Because I like derbies to have that feel, that edge to it, and obviously the way that the referee is at nowadays, and not to dig at rest before he comes running in there, the producer. I just think the way that the rules have gone now don't allow for those spiky moments anymore for Spurs to level the playing field. I think Spurs are doing okay with the Thomas Frank, but I think Arsenal just are too well-oiled.
Last week, you were allowed to kick anyone in the penalty area and not give away a penalty and elbow people in the head. It was fine. What are you talking about?
But you know what's going to happen, mate. As soon as someone touches Saka, it'll be a pen. But I think the Bayern game is fantastic. And then I also think Chelsea will be up for that game. They'll be Chelsea and they'll get up for it. They'll probably have
Stamford Bridge.
They'll have an awful game in the Champions League. They'll have an awful performance. They'll probably win, but have an awful performance and then deliver a wonderful performance against Arsenal.
We'll see. Mikel Arteta's side still unbeaten in 14 games in all competitions. They do land with the North London derby when they come back. Their lead at the top of the table was cut in the last week when Manchester City beat Liverpool and they dropped points at Sunderland. Still quite a lot to come, including Georginio Rutter on this programme because Alex Crook has done something this week and he has been speaking to Georginio Rutter and we're going to hear that interview in just a second. This is talkSPORT with Sam Matterface and Troy Deeney. We're here through till 1 o'clock this afternoon with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's Real Deal at selcobw.com.
Joseph Parker failed a drugs test for cocaine on the day he lost to Fabio Wardley. The Sun reports Parker was tested by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency on October 25th. Cocaine is not performance enhancing, but Parker could get a 2-year ban from the sport. Elsewhere today, Thomas Tuchel says England's big players have no option other than to buy into his team ethos. Bellingham, Foden, Eze and Henderson all came off the bench in the 2-0 win over Serbia after Bukayo Saka opened the scoring.
The subs that came on today did really well. Obviously, Ebbs got the goal, Phil set it up, Jude and Hendo ran the midfield really well, so they definitely gave us that extra energy and helped us get the second goal, so we're happy with them.
Albania versus England is live on talkSPORT this Sunday afternoon. Now, maybe the dentist from Iceland got through to the referee when he said make sure you stand up to CR7. Republic of Ireland manager Jaime Hallgrimsson has called Ronaldo's red card a moment of silliness.
In Portugal, he was not only controlling the referee, he was controlling the whole stadium, so all the fans supported his actions and the referee just kind of played along.
And FIFA have hiked up the price of dozens of World Cup tickets for the second phase of sales. The cost has already been described by fan groups as unacceptable. Now, under FIFA's dynamic pricing model, group games in Canada and Mexico have reportedly gone up another 25%.
It's talkSPORT. It's Sam Matterface with Troy Deeney on this Friday, wet and windy, horrible Friday. It's a fantastic sort of weekend of live football on talkSPORT. We've got EFL action and, of course, the international between Albania and England on Sunday. So make sure you're with us for that. Despite being away this week, Alex Crook has been setting up an interview with Georginio Rutter, the Brighton forward, over the course of the last couple of days. And he's been reflecting on the start of the season on the South Coast and Brighton's expectations for the season ahead.
Honestly, first of all, I think we didn't start very, very good this year. I had the feeling we could do much better. We did some very great game, but was a bit inconsistent. But the win against Leeds was very helpful for the team and for the confidence as well. So, since I came here, we wanted to play Europe. So this is the target. But I think last year was too much the target. Maybe I don't know. So I think we have to take game per game and we will see at the end.
It's such a crazy table. So many teams competing for European places. There's going to be a lot of chopping and changing along the way. Do you think it's the most competitive Premier League ever, maybe?
I think yes, because, last year we knew it a bit, even the team who's going to go down. This year is completely open. So we have to take more points possible and lost the minimum. So like I say, we have to take game per game and we will see at the end. But everybody knows it's tough league. It's not an easy game in Premier League. And you have tough game as well. So yeah, we just have to be ready and be mature, and that's it.
Talk to me about your move to Brighton. You were the most expensive player in their history. You came from Leeds. Was it a big decision to come down to the Sussex coast?
Yeah, of course. It was a quick decision because I didn't have time to reflect myself a bit. But, it's football. I think we play a bit for this as well. Football, everything can happen. Of course, when I came here, it was a Premier League. So it's a dream to every player to play Premier League. Of course, I had a good time in Leeds as well. Unfortunately, we didn't go up. Yeah, after it's like a choice. You have to do a choice, and yeah.
And obviously you're very much into your horse racing. You own some horses.
Yeah.
Is it right that you've got one that's called Briley, named after your two clubs?
Yeah, because the day I signed for Brighton, the trainer called me and said, maybe I buy a filly for you. Blah, blah. I said, okay. So I search and I say, Briley is good, Brighton Leeds. And after I call her like this.
And what's the aim with the horse racing? What's your dream to achieve in that sport?
Win Group 1. Group 1, I think, is the dream, you know. L'Arc de Triomphe in France, because it's my country. The Derby, Epsom Derby. Now, win a Royal Ascot as well, because it's like such a tradition thing in England. So everywhere I want to win everything.
And I guess that mentality is what,
of course,
what drives you on the pitch as well as in the horse racing world.
Yeah, of course. When I go to the pitch, I want to do my best. But the difference is like on the pitch I have the control, I have the ball. And when horses, I'm not the jockey, and I'm not the horses. They don't talk. So that is the thing, different thing. Yeah.
No wonder he was so excited about us playing that out, bearing in mind that Georginio Rutter is a horse racing owner and wants to win the Derby, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, Ascot, the lot. And I imagine that Crookie was quite happy to say, and I'll come along and cheer you on if you want me to. There's no problem with that.
Best dressed.
Yeah. He's interesting character, isn't he, Georginio Rutter? I think he worked quite well last season with the Welbeck, Pedro, Rutter sort of rotation in that sort of front three. There hasn't been as many goals about Brighton this season. It's felt a little bit like they've sort of almost got there and just haven't quite kicked on this season.
I think they've had a really disruptive summer as well. Obviously, all the Belieber talk has not been great. You do need a foundation for the forward players to work better. Belieber seems to be getting his mind around the fact that he's there for a little while now, needs to work. And I'll be honest, really surprised with him making that step up from Leeds as well. I thought at Leeds he did okay, but I didn't see this level of player in him. But Brighton obviously do, and that's why they're so good at it. But he's done well.
Yeah, he certainly has. That was Georginio Rutter. We spoke a little bit earlier about the possibility of you riling people up on social media. Did
Me?
You? Yeah, because you're a little bit like that occasionally.
Yeah.
You
I
were
didn't mean to, guys.
You didn't mean to. This actually, you didn't mean to do this, did you?
No, I don't mean to do it to anybody.
This was just sort of like natural, you having a chat, and it was taken the wrong way. Nigeria embarked on a bit of a strike on Tuesday, demanding the Nigerian Football Federation pay their bonuses ahead of their game against Gabon. However, they trained on Wednesday evening as their captain, Will Troost-Ekong, announced that all matters had been resolved. Troy and the former Sierra Leone star, Michael Lahoud, seemed to question the leadership of this defender ahead of the game with Gabon, which they won by 4-1. He came off the bench, actually, Troost-Ekong, during that. Now, he's a former Watford teammate of yours.
Yeah, he's a good kid.
And you said on CBS Sports Golazo this week, when you were working in the United States, I worked with Will at Watford. I don't think he's the one kicking down doors and saying what's going to happen. Totally take your point to the social media point of it. He's a good guy. He's a good person. Now,
and he's had a pop at that?
No, you also said, but in this moment, you need that nasty person, the one who's going to be like, no, we're not training, we're moving. If any of you players do it, you're going to fall out with me.
Yeah. That's not his character.
That's not his character. This is what he said afterwards.
I thought it was very disrespectful. You know, I had to Google who it was talking about me. And I think that if he would have Googled and did his research about me, maybe he would have come out with a different explanation. We have multiple leaders in this team. You know, Victor Osimhen is a leader in his right. We have Wilfred Ndidi, we have Alex Iwobi, we have Moses Simon. We have players that are really coming to age and showing what they can do. But I don't think you can just wipe away something because someone is on the bench. You know, I've got 83 caps for Nigeria. And also for my teammate, I was slightly disappointed because I supported him when he was the captain of my team at Watford. I've also gone on to captain Watford, so again, he could have just picked up the phone and called me. And yeah, I think if he didn't respect me, then maybe he should take away the shirt of Nigeria that I gave him.
And I think the first bit there was pretty clear that he was talking about the Sierra Leone guy.
But what bit did I say that
the last bit was the bit that was directed to you?
It's But it's
maybe it's been taken out of context because that's.
But it's the whole bit when he said, "I don't respect him." What did I say that's not respectful? I've said exactly what he is. He's a good kid. He's what he is. He's a good kid. He did give me a shirt, yeah, because I collect shirts, as you know.
Yes.
I don't know. It's a weird one, but
do you think it's just that it's through the prism of social media? Things.
It's probably the way the question was framed.
The question's framed in a certain way, and then that sort of elicits a response, and then it goes wild and whatever. Would you call him up and have a chat with him about it, just to ensure that it doesn't get any worse?
If I remotely cared about it, yeah, I would. But I don't. I could call Will. Will's a good kid, and that's what I was saying. He's a good kid. In my opinion, when it gets to those situations with the federation, you do need to be a little bit nasty, a little bit horrible, and I don't think that's the character that I see at Watford. Wasn't that? He's a nice kid that works hard for his team and does the way he does. The one thing I will say that he's kind of given Michael Lahoud credit for now is because what did Michael say he would do? Go out and do it all on the press and be in front of it. And that's exactly what you've just said. You've kind of played into his narrative. But you know what happens when someone tells the truth, mate? It hurts. Do you know, when my missus calls me fat, I don't like it. But mate, it's true though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You start going, I'm going to do some sit-ups today. So if I offended you, Will, deal with it. Crack on.
I remember when Alan Pardew said to me I'd been snacking too much.
It hits hard, doesn't it?
It hits hard.
It does, but
I went down the gym.
I would like to clarify one little bit, which is my camera. Will, I do know you. If I was remotely being disrespectful, I'd deal with it the right way, because you know me. And the second part about it is, if you have to come and tell people how many caps you've had and all that stuff you're doing, you're not really that secure yourself. So just chill. Nigeria won. Don't talk about us. Let us do the media stuff, and you do your podcast. Got a great podcast, by the way. Go and check it out. Love you, bro. See you soon.
This is talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
going to be a bloodbath.
It's one of the fights of the year.
Eubank, I can't wait to smash your head in.
That's why he didn't beat me, and that's why he shall not beat me in November.
Thanks to our friends at Virgin Atlantic, Troy and I are giving you the opportunity to come with us, because we're hijacking it. We're not really. Although we'd love to go to Las Vegas. It's an ultimate trip. It's a trip of a lifetime. This is an unbelievable prize, by the way. This is next level. You're going to kick things off in style by going to the Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse in Heathrow. Then you're going to fly upper class in comfort with lie flat beds and premium service all the way to Vegas. It's good, that? You must have done it. I haven't done it. You've done it?
I've heard about it.
You've heard? Yeah, right. Okay, of course you haven't. Once you touch down, didn't you just get off one this morning?
When you go upstairs, it's unbelievable. The bar's brilliant as well.
Once you touch down, you'll check into a spa villa for 4 nights, cheer from the stands as the Las Vegas Raiders, take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're throwing in $5,000 worth of cash as well to play with while you're there. So clear your calendar. The dates are the 2nd of January to the 7th of January 2026, because this could be the best start to the new year ever. Good luck.
21 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text at £2 plus standard network rates. Bill payer's permission required. Or call 03434239761. Calls are charged at standard rate. All entries must be received by the 28th of November at 4 p.m. This is a network promotion. Run across talkSPORT, Virgin Radio UK and Talk. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
It's talkSPORT. It's Sam Matterface with Troy Deeney. And last few minutes of the programme, let's talk about your former gaffer, Marco Silva. What's going on there? I mean, you've had a few. What's going on there? Because Fulham, have they stagnated a little bit? Have they hit a bit of a plateau? Is there any way that he can try and take them further forward? Because this week there's all sorts of talk about them both sort of weighing up the future and whether or not they're going to continue their relationship.
It's a strange one, isn't it? I think since Marco's been in there, it's been an upward trajectory. I think, for me, these conversations have all happened since they got rid of Mitrovic. Obviously sold him for a lot of money, then sold Paulinho as well. I just don't think they've invested it the same as he would have liked to. And I suppose the question is, what do Fulham expect? If they want to be in Europe and challenging for those top 10 places, 8 and up, should we say, they need to spend some money, and they're not doing that. Consistently not doing that. So, I think Marco will be frustrated. Knowing him the way I do, I think he wants to progress and push on. But he must look at his team and go, we're doing the same thing. They've signed Willian 3 times.
Would you advise him to sign a new contract? Because there are reports in the papers today that they're going to try and sort of schedule a meeting and do some sort of discussion where they extend a deal that runs out in the summer. If you were advising him right now, would you say that was a good idea?
I think what you're probably going to see is a power play from both. Obviously, the club don't want to lose him for nothing because he's a top manager and he will go and get another job. No problem. I think when you look at, from Marco's perspective, he'll be wanting some certain demands on, are they going to spend? What does recruitment look like? Does he have to say? I had the pleasure of being in there last year, and it's certainly his building. He owns the whole building. It's more of a manager than a head coach. But is the recruitment to where it's at? I would argue not. I don't think that team has really kicked on in the last 2 years.
Well, actually, it's probably regressed in terms of firepower.
Yeah.
You know, if you think you had Mitrovic a couple of years ago, then all of a sudden you haven't got him, and whatever you put in his place has never really delivered the same sort of level of return. I've watched them a load of times. I think they're a really good team up until they get to the final third, and then they just cannot get over the line. They miss far too many chances. Occasionally they'll make a mistake at the back. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't want this to be a dig at the individual, but I think the likes of like Tom Kearney and that he would have liked to have moved on. Tom's an excellent footballer, but I think Marco at a certain point in time would have liked to have moved on from those type of players.
Yeah, but he also has not been allowed to because people like Emile Smith-Rowe, they spent a lot of money on it, haven't really delivered.
100%. And I just think it's a nice place, isn't it, Fulham? Like, if you go to work there, it's nice to work. If you go to play there as a player, it's a nice place. I just don't know whether they are ready to make that step. I think Marco is and his team are.
So how much is there in this sort of Saudi sort of link? Because it always seems to come up. There always seems to be an escape route offered to him. He can go Saudi whenever he seems to want, if he wants to.
Yeah.
Is that just because he's a top manager and everybody knows it?
Yeah. I don't want to portray confidences, but that's always going to be there for him. The Saudis love him and what he does. I think his ambition is to go and manage a Man United, a massive club in England or in any of the top 5 leagues.
Does he have to stay in the Premier League to stay relevant enough to get that job?
Depends if he went to, like, I don't know, into Milan, let's say, and went there and did well in the Champions League, then maybe not. But I think it is about what he does performance-wise. They're a solid team. They attack well. But like you say, it's just that little bit of quality in the final third. I think he'll be progressing now in his talk, saying, right, what are we? How are we going to get there, and what are you going to give
Because
me?
he doesn't want to damage his reputation by staying at Fulham and ending up finding himself in a relegation battle, which could be something that happens this season.
No, I don't think they're going to be in a relegation. I think they're too good to be in a relegation battle. When you see the ones underneath them, you see the Wolves, you see the West Hams, you see the Burnleys. These guys they're too good.
It doesn't lie though, does it?
No, that's totally fair. I think they'll be all right. But again, what is all right? What is considered a good season for Fulham? That's a question I would be asking if I was Marco. What do we consider a success?
Well, success would be to get into Europe because that's what
that squad's not good enough to get into Europe.
They've been knocking on the door of doing that for the last couple of years, and they've just been a little bit unfortunate that it hasn't happened.
They'll sign Willian next week, and it'll be all right. 4th time back.
I think he's an excellent manager. I'd love to see him progress. I'd love to see Fulham actually achieve a little bit more than they have done because of the way that they've approached it. But I think it feels as if the relationship is coming to a little bit of an end. He's never been shy to voice his frustrations about what's going on. And I think in the end, how do you repair that?
2 real quick things. I know we're finishing the show, but first off, the owners...
You've got another hour, aren't you? Staying on for another hour?
Nah, I don't get paid overtime. I saw the owner did an interview talking about he likes PSR and wants a wage cap.
Yeah.
When he was talking over here with Jacksonville for his NFL team. But they do have a new training facility that they can build on. They've just put a new side to the stand-up. I do feel like, is the owner, because he's very wealthy, but is he looking at it as a business and going, I don't really want to invest too much? And then the flip side to that, if you are Marco, he's done damage repair for money left Watford to go Everton. So remember, he had this kind of stigma that he would just jump ship anyone who threw a bit of cash at him.
Well,
so
it was a hole.
so he's now done this thing where he showed that he's got this level of loyalty that I think it would be a good time for him to leave as well, getting away.
Good enough to be at a top club?
100%.
Top club?
100% in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
Cheers. Well, next Friday, will that do you?
Yeah, 12:30 though. Not a full day.
Well, I'll make sure that Crook's not racing. Anyway. That's it from us. H&J are next.